Well, everybody, good evening and welcome here for night two as we get ready for our Hoops for a Cause, the fourth annual Hoops for a Cause. As This year we are raising money for Finley Grace Foster and her family. Finley Grace, a young lady in Havre that has had way too many surgeries, way too many physical problems. And we are trying to help out that young lady. Our first year, we were helping out Alex Thatcher's Memorial Scholarship here in Butte, Montana. Year two was the Buckle Up Blue for Lauren, the Lauren Goldhunt Scholarship at the University of Providence. And last year was for Jack Roscoe as he was paralyzed in a snowboarding accident. And we were at Carroll College a year ago. So this year, again, we are raising money for Finley Grace Foster. We had a really good night yesterday with coaches. And we are getting ready for night number two as Commissioner Kent Paulson joining me. Commish, this is going to be hard for you and I, my friend. We have 10 minutes and 10 minutes only, and I'm not sure either of us are capable of only holding it to 10 minutes.
I think the coaches would definitely agree with that one, Paul. They've heard you and I in action.
We have a habit of just going on for days. Commish, thanks for joining us. This says an awful lot about the coaches in this conference, the family nature. I don't know, that's what I felt yesterday more than anything, was just kind of that family nature and how everybody just rallied. You know, when Coach Moet put out the call for Hoops for a Cause, fourth edition, everybody came charging in. And this year, you just can't say enough about everybody's participation and how it's gone thus far.
Well, you know, Paul, I had the opportunity last night to watch the intro, and thank you for being the MC. They could not have found a better person to sit behind the mic and keep the thing going. And you know, it was so heartwarming to watch and listen to Pat and Katie and of course Finley, and that's why we're here. And you know, I just a real soft spot in our heart for the various causes that we've honored. The Frontier Conference from day one, when Chris Moet and Natalie approached this idea of Hoops for a Cause, and I remember Chris saying to the coaches as we were talking about this as a group, you know, there's always going to be a cause every year. There's going to be somebody out there that we can help. And, you know, from day one, I know I can speak for the Frontier Conference, we've been all in. My wife, Joan, and I have attended every one you spoke of last night, and you spoke again tonight about being in Butte and in Great Falls and Helena. And I had the privilege of being at every one of those and watching our coaches. And Paul, you know, you and I have talked numerous times on your Wednesday night sports show. I get to work with the best team in the country. Yeah. And certainly part of that team are our men's and women's basketball coaches. And I just can't thank them enough. And I can't thank the various college coaches and high school coaches that I saw on the screen last night. It was kind of like a walk down memory lane. And yeah. you know, to that, I somewhere along the line last evening, I heard Coach Steve Keller. He was taking a little ribbing about being the oldest guy, and I got a note today that he wanted me to be sure to set the record straight that he's not as old as the commissioner. And,
okay, noted. Here, let me get that down.
But one thing I do want to add to that is that the commissioner is not as old as Coach Thatcher that you have to that you get to work with every once in a while.
Yeah, that's those three boats that brought people to America aren't as old as John Thatcher.
In all sincerity, I do want to thank Chris Moet, as we always all do. Chris just works tirelessly at this. I want to thank Jenna Bolstead certainly for being the production manager on this and putting this whole thing together. And again, from all of us at the Frontier Conference, we are so proud to be part of this. And I know Joan and I every year love writing a check for the various causes because it means a lot to all of us. That's what Montanans do. That's what Frontier Conference family does. And so again, to Pat and Katie and Finley, just persevere. We know something about that. Just keep working hard and let's make this thing happen. And we hope we're helping make that happen.
Yeah, it was awful great to see the family yesterday and to see the smile on her face, and the photos we have and the stories we have. With everything she's been through, the smile is always there, and she's always just chugging along. And those of us that consider ourselves or would be called adults can learn an awful lot from young Finley and the way that she goes about her day.
You bet. And I hope the coaches, my philosophy always on a coaching clinic was if I could just find one little pearl, one little gem, you steal, you find something that worked for someone else and you make it work for you. It's successful on that front. But thank you to them for supporting this. I think this is beyond even what Chris, in his wildest, when he thought of this idea, when the Montana Coaches Clinic had to take a time out for a year. And what a great idea. And Paul, I think listening last night, and I know the coaches are in for another treat this evening with another all-star lineup. There are some really, really good coaches in the Frontier Conference, and they have a lot to share. They really do.
And we knew this. We knew we have great coaches, but when I started crunching numbers, it was staggering. When you look at it, I think last night, we had, with the coaches combined, like 850-ish wins between them. Obviously a national championship, an NAIA Coach of the Year. I want to say there were nearly, 44 or 45 All-Americans just from the coaches yesterday. And today, there's over 1,215 wins with the 5 coaches that we're going to talk to tonight. Like 47 All-Americans, a national championship, an NAIA Coach of the Year again tonight. This Frontier Conference is awfully special on both sides of the basketball. And I, with my limited IQ, felt like I learned an awful lot last night, and I'm excited for night 2.
Well, and I tell the coaches every year, and they know how much I appreciate them. And I tell our basketball coaches, it's just amazing the quality of athlete, the level of athlete that they bring in every year with their recruiting. And it's a two-way thing. Student athletes are recruiting us in the Frontier just like we're recruiting them. And why? Because you're seeing that last night and tonight. We've got the brightest, and we've got some of the absolute best coaches in America right here in our conference. And kids want to come. They want to be part of that conference, of that institution, of that program, and they want to be coached up by these men and women. So hats off to them for what they do, and thank you to them for taking a night, 2 nights out of their summer to help a great cause. And Paul, again, I want to thank you for taking part in this. You have really, really made this special.
I would miss it. This is my family. Before we cut you loose, I have to say thank you. You have, obviously, you put in a lot of time for our conference. You do some great work, but obviously from the middle of March until today and tomorrow and moving on forward, there has been an incredible amount of work put in the Frontier Conference level and the national level. And you have always kept the Frontier Conference up front and in the front of your mind, and continue to battle for all of our programs. So for that, we certainly say thank you, and continue the hard work. And hopefully your workload will drop here soon. Knock on wood.
We're gonna run in that. We're gonna find the finish line sooner or later, Paul. And you're right. This is about my 5th Zoom call today, but this is the one that is most special. And thank you for having me on this evening.
Commissioner, thank you. Commissioner Ken Paulson, as we get things underway here, ladies and gentlemen, it's the 4th annual Hoops for a Cause. We're raising money here tonight for the family of Finley Grace Foster. We had a chance to talk to her mother and father and Finley last night. Hopefully you had an opportunity to check in with us last night. And we have a tremendous group of coaches coming up. We're going to talk to Sean Hughes in a bit. Chris Mowat will join us if his blood pressure doesn't put him in a chair. We'll have Coach Sayers from Carroll College. Carly Sannon will join us later. And then Coach Drykosen. Coach, I hope you're wearing the jacket, my friend. That's all I hope. But to get us started, as we continue along, we have a really special guest here tonight, a gentleman by the name of Phil Beckner. Phil is a high-performance consultant for elite athletes. He has 10 years of coaching at the highest levels, professional and college hoops. And Phil Beckner joining us. Phil, thank you for taking some time to join us. And It means an awful lot to myself, all the coaches, and the entire Frontier Conference, sir.
I appreciate you guys having me. And I'm great friends with Rochelle Sayers, who obviously coaches in that conference. But
Indeed.
I think I'm really honored just because of the message behind this, what you guys are trying to do. She filled me in on this. And then obviously you and Kent, just talked about that. But I feel humbled and it's a privilege to do something like this. You guys would, want to include me.
Well, the floor is yours. And again, thank you so much for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, Phil Beckner.
Awesome, guys, thanks for having me. Just like Kent was saying, I think we're all used to these Zoom calls. We're ready to do them. I got another one, a player development clinic I'm actually doing after this. I played small college ball myself, so I could relate to the conference. We weren't very good, though. My senior year, we won 2 games. We went 2-27, so that wasn't fun. But really respect what you guys do. You guys, both on the men and women's side, like I said, Rochelle's a great friend of mine, but you guys do have some tremendous coaches, tremendous teams. You guys win. I have a high regard for winners out there. And I just wanted to give you guys some stuff. The last few years, I coached Division I for 10 years before I started training and working with teams. And what I wanted to do today was just challenge you guys a little bit individually as a coach, and then also give you some stuff to challenge your players with. And I thought what would be pretty cool and what would be unique, like I said, I've coached Division I. I actually coached high school before that. We're all at different levels. We've all done different stuff. We're all at different points in our career. But if we could challenge ourselves and then we could challenge our players a little bit better, I think we'll all be able to get some of those nuggets and resources that might give us a little bit of an advantage. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen. I got a little bit of a PowerPoint ready for you guys here. All right, so here's what I got for you. The last few years, I've been able to work with some of the best coaches, basketball players, different organizations. I get to do stuff with USA Basketball. I've gone to a think tank with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I've got to go to some pretty cool conferences, be around some pretty cool athletes. And I thought what I would give you guys are some separators, things that could give us an advantage, things that can make us really good, both as a coach. This is going to be stuff for us as coaches first, and then players second, and then some of the disqualifiers, those things that hold us back from maybe winning a championship, from being the best version of ourselves. Maybe it's for our program or a player specifically trying to take that next step in their career. And going through this, these aren't all my answers. I'm not all perfect at it, but I think at the end of the day, this is stuff the best of the best do, and it always works. And as we get started, I want to get going right away with us as coaches and really, really look within. I think we do all these coaching clinics and someone's speaking on zone offense, someone's speaking on zone defense, or we get a great out of bounds play, and it's always for our players, or it's always for our team. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, whoever's on this call, before we get into some of the stuff for players, let's all look within. Let's be willing to let me and this presentation and some of the stuff I've got from the best pour into you guys. And the best, you see the definition of there. It's a most excellent type of quality. The people I've been around, when I study the best or who have been around the best, they just have a fascination with knowing what those other people do. Maybe we're basketball coaches, man. We want to know what the Seattle Seahawks, what makes them so special. We want to know what makes USA Basketball so special. They just have a fascination with what makes the best who they are. And I'm going to give you some of those things today based on some of the people I've got to work with and meet with over the last few years. And here's what I'm going to challenge you guys with. And this is going to be different because we're sitting on a computer. Everything feels good. Clinics are fun. This is all for a good cause. But do you want to feel good, or do you really want some strategies and some challenges that are going to make you better and make your team better? Because at the end of the day, I could teach. I get to work with guys like Damian Lillard or Mikal Bridges of the Phoenix Suns. Like I said, guys with the USA Junior National Team. These kids who are ranked super high in the country, going to Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, you name it. as much as we could coach their skill level or I could help them shoot the basketball, deep down, the best of the best, they don't just want to feel good every day. They want those things, the strategies, the challenges, the confrontations that are going to make them better. So here's how we're going to start. And I think this is a good time, really good time, for us to look within. Because like the moderator just said, the MC, he just said there's so many wins already in this conference. There's so many coaches on here who've already done things. The number one thing you could do as a leader or a coach is refresh these things. And I know the first one sounds cliche, but what is your why? Why do you coach? Why did you get into coaching? Not to embarrass Rochelle, we worked together at Weber State. I was a young guy making no money. She was a top women's assistant. Probably not making, a whole lot of, back then either. But like we had a why of why we were coaching. But if you want to take something from this presentation and you want to take it initially, and I could share what the best of the best do, what is your burden? What is that thing that pisses you off? What is that thing that bugs you? What's that thing that keeps you up at night? What's that problem in your program, that problem with the player you want to coach, that problem in your family that you want to solve? It's a healthy burden. It's a driven burden. It's an emotional burden that you want to wake up every day and try to be special at. You want to attack that burden and accomplish something in your program, your team, your player's life that maybe some other people can't. Because so many times we talk about our why. We want to impact people. We want to win a championship. We want to do these great things, but we forget that our burden really, really, really drives us. And if we know what our burden is, then we're able to be passionate about it. And everyone knows passionate people are super attractive. Passionate people drive others to a level they couldn't get to on their own. And that passion is going to come from our burden. To share with you my two biggest burdens, one, NBA players. I get to coach them, train them, work with them every day. And I always tell them, I want nothing from you and everything for you. Because so many people want to take advantage of them, be part of their status, be part of their entourage, be part of their money. I don't even have a dang Instagram. I want to make it about them. One of our biggest problems as trainers, as coaches, it eventually becomes about us. And if we could remind ourselves what our why is, maybe most importantly, what our burden truly is, and then live it with some passion and teach it and coach it with some passion, we're probably going to be really, really successful. My other burden, other than helping NBA players, is helping coaches. And I consult with a lot of teams, programs, and all the mistakes I made as an assistant coach for 15 years at the Division I level, man, I get to help guys now and help them not make those mistakes. And here's a great phrase. If you're going to write anything down, and again, this is coach development before we get into player development. My mentor, Rod Olson, told me this. He has some great books. He coaches coaches. But as a coach, you can't give away what you don't possess. I'm going to say that again. As a coach, you cannot give away what you don't possess. So if you don't have energy, if you don't have passion, you can't give them away. If you don't have professionalism, like these things we're about to get into here, if we're losing this stuff, man, it's going to be hard to give them away. And here's what I want to give you as coaches. Bounce through a couple things. We don't have a lot of time here. This is from an article that Buzz Williams was interviewed for when he was in the NCAA tournament. And I've kept this on my wall every year that I've coached since I got to college, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And this is how bad he wanted a college job. And I just want to give it to you guys to remind you, man, maybe we need to step back and get our passion, our burden, our why going again, especially during this tough time while we've all been stuck in isolation. He's a young guy. He's trying to get a GA job from Eddie McCarter, who's at UTA, University of Texas, Arlington. He went to the Final Four. He tried to meet him there, gave him his business card. Eddie didn't give him the job. And so this is what Buzz did. He goes, I sat in my car until about Tuesday night in front of Eddie McCarter's house. He drove up Tuesday night, drove in his parking garage, and we got out of his car. I got out of my truck. And we got out of the car. I got out and I said, hi, Coach McCarter. I just wanted to say one more time how much I really want the job. And he said, you have to be the craziest son of a bitch I've ever seen. And I said, Coach, I wanted to tell you one more time that I wanted the job. And guys, I just got goosebumps reading that to you because, like, it reminds me how bad I wanted to coach at Weber State, how bad I wanted to go from the high school level to the college level, or how bad I wanted my first JV high school coaching job. And some of us got away from that. Maybe we wanted to be that head coach at Carroll College so bad, and now, our budget's not as good. Or, oh, man, our players aren't as – whatever it may be, wherever you're at, you might have to refresh your memory, get back to your passion, your burden, your why. Just like Buzz Williams, remind yourself how bad you wanted that job. And here's what I'm going to give you. I think this is really, really valuable. Here's your takeaways from all the coaches I've been around, from all the leaders I've been around. My biggest burden is coaches. Here's the 4 biggest disqualifiers of elite coaches. If you want to be a really, really good coach, you got to be exceptional in all these areas. An elite, that means a select group that is superior in terms of ability or qualities to the rest of the group, to all the other coaches, to all the other society. Here's the 4 disqualifiers. The best of the best I've been around, and I'm not saying I'm the best. I still got to grow in areas at times. They either have a lack of purpose, which we just talked about, a lack of professionalism, a lack of ability, or a lack of teaching. And if we go through these quickly right here, lack of purpose, we just hit on that. Why did we get into coaching? What is the burden we're trying to solve? What are we trying to fix? What are we trying to get better at? Or whose life are we trying to change? If you're lacking in that, you're probably not going to be an elite coach. Lack of professionalism. Everyone I work with, every level, dang near the number one reason they don't get the job or keep the client or whatever it may be, they're lacking professionalism. They're not on time. They don't dress appropriately. They don't speak the right way. They don't return a text. There's just, especially in the world of basketball trainers now, there's a high level lack of professionalism. You guys see him, the guy with the backwards hat on and the bandana and doesn't really coach well. Like, same thing, younger coaches who are GAs are trying to become an assistant, or the high school JV coach. Man, they don't wear a tie anymore. They might not have a great appearance, might have bad hygiene, whatever. Lack of professionalism is a major disqualifier for the elite coaches and the elite leaders. Lack of availability. You want to eliminate yourself from getting a player better? Or you want to eliminate yourself, especially being an assistant coach? Don't be available. I get to work with Wes Matthews, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks now. He was undrafted. He was he's the first ever undrafted player in the NBA to sign a max contract. Unbelievable job. Scored 10,000 points. I said, Wes, what do you want in a trainer? He said, 1, I want someone to know what the hell they're doing. But 2, I want someone who's available. When I want to get better, I want them with me. He goes, Phil, what I love about you, you'll always give me a time. Might not be the time I want, but you'll be like, hey, you could go at 9, you could go at 1, or you could go at 8 p.m. You're always available. You never say no. So many coaches disqualify themselves from making a player better, moving up the coaching ladder, maybe just making your program better because of lack of availability. And then here's the X factor, lack of teaching. So what I probably am working on and trying to grow in the most myself, how could I be a better teacher, especially of skills, concept, drills, mindset, mentality, whatever it may be. If you can't teach, it's going to be hard to get your program, your players, your family, your kids better. We have to be able to teach at an extremely high level. Our biggest separator, what we do, we came up with the phrase, we just say you got to be better or you got to be different. If you're not better, that's Wes Matthews right there in the hoodie. That's Damian Lillard, Portland Trailblazer at the press conference. If you're not better, if you don't wake up and you got the best budget, you don't got the best program, you don't got the best players, well, then you got to be different. And if we're different, we are not going to let those 4 disqualifiers keep us from being elite. Because we know when we're different, and if we're different for a long time, we could catch those guys who are better. And that's what Damian Lillard's done. He's going to be a Hall of Fame basketball player. He went from Weber State to the Portland Trailblazers. He wasn't as good as those guys at Duke and Kentucky and all those. He was not better. So he had to be different. And now that he's better and he's different, he's elite. And he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So the separators, like we said, really simple. Guys, just do what's right. Don't do what's easy. Don't fear being the bad guy. Don't fear confrontation. These are definitions of what it means to be better and different for us. We're highly relational and highly accountable with staff and players. Highly relational. We want to have high-level relationships, high-level accountability with staff and players. And then if we're proficient in those 4 areas, we're not disqualified in those areas, and we're trying to be better and different, just like Wes Matthews, the guy you saw wearing the hoodie, who scored 10,000 points in his career, who was an undrafted player, got a max contract. Show up, do the work, and then show up again. Show up, do the work, and then show up again. And that's what we have to do to be better and to be different. Because we all know some people could show up and do the work, and then you never see them again. Players, coaches, staff, whoever it may be. But if you want to be different, show up, do the work, show up again. Going to fly here. We're flying through this really, really quick. So now I want to give you some of the disqualifiers for players, okay? And we could use these, and it'll be a good refresher. I'm probably preaching to the choir on a lot of these, but here's 2 huge things I've learned from working with players at all levels, from NBA to college, consulting with teams, meeting with programs, doing individual Zooms like this with staffs to help them grow and get better. Number 1, everyone's fighting the same battles. Guys, the battles you are fighting with your players or your program is the same shit I'm fighting with some of my guys. The same shit North Carolina is probably fighting with some of their guys. Everyone is fighting the players in competition, these guys who are trying to get drafted or who are trying to go to become an all-conference player or start at the high school level. All of this stuff I'm going to give you is translatable to every level. They're all fighting the same battles. So I asked them, do you want to read the entire book or do you want the answers to the test? Like, I don't want to sit there and read this whole history book and study and not know what. Just give me the 20 answers that are on the test. I'll memorize them and go fill them in. So right now we could give our players some of these answers. But what they got to know, and guys, what we got to know, and where I'm going to try to pour into you right now, and you probably wouldn't be on this Zoom call if you didn't believe in something bigger than yourself, which is a great, great cause they're going for. If you didn't want to get better, and if you weren't trying to win or be special, we got to know our way is not for everybody. We tell these guys all the time, hey, not everyone gets to be a hero. Someone has to sit and clap as the hero, as the champions come by in the parade. That's what Doc Rivers tells those guys all the time. It's okay. The world needs C students too. The world needs C students too. I don't want to change tires my whole life. I don't want to work at Walmart. No, nothing against that. I grew up in a blue-collar family. But, man, our way is not for everybody. And here's the battles they fight. These are the disqualifiers for players over and over again at every level. And if you don't believe me, set up a one-on-one. I'll tell you how I'm fighting these with NBA guys. I'll tell you, I'm fighting these with USA basketball players that are on the junior national team going to Duke, Kentucky, Carolina, wherever it may be. One of the biggest battles they got to fight is simply being on time, being prepared, and willing. And I'm going to give you a great example. Damian Lillard, he spoke at a clinic I did out here in Arizona. We had about 85 coaches. We did a Q&A with them. I said, Dame, what's one of your biggest strengths? What's one of your biggest separators? And I thought he talked about his athleticism. This dude worked so hard. Like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, work ethic, crazy, crazy competitor, crazy worker. And he humbled me. He made me better with this answer. And it's about being willing. He just said, I do what I'm told. My coach tells me to do something, I do it. Phil, you tell me to lose 10 pounds, I do it. Like, I do what I'm told. I follow the rules. That's one of the biggest battles players are fighting. Can they just be on time? Can they be prepared? And are they willing? Are they willing to be coached, willing to be told the truth? Here's the next one. Their body language. We talk about that, but as coaches, we got to really define body language. How is that? Here it is to me. Energy level. How high? How low? How much does it move? And then the responses. Will they respond? Will they look you in the eye? Will they say yes? Will they say no? I always say I need a verbal or nonverbal response. A head nod, a shake, that's nonverbal. Verbal, we open our mouth and talk. But these are battles these guys are fighting that hold them back all the time. And then I can't see all you guys on this Zoom call, but we know these two, and we're tired of them as coaches, but we got to battle for our players and get them better. Instant gratification. They want it all right now. Why? Because Snapchat's right now, Instagram's right now, everything is right. They want to play right now. They want to start right now. They want their scholarship right now. Their parents want it right now. And here's what my mentor, again, Rod Olson says. Things that are built fast aren't made to last. Damian Lillard wasn't better and different for 6 months and then he became an all-star. No, he was better and different for about 6 years. And now he's one of the best players in the NBA. 6 years, not 6 months. And too many times, this instant gratification, our players think it's like Jimmy John's. Type the shit in your phone, boop, shows up at the door. Hey, success doesn't work that way. Starting on our team does not work that way. And then the last battle they got to fight, and we have to do a way better job as coaches with this, but these kids, they live in a false reality. Whether it's because of their parents, whether it's because of social media, whether it's because of a soft society, whatever, we have to be able to confront them, challenge them, give them the truth. And that's why I went back to, coaches being better and different. They're highly relational and highly accountable. We'll hold these guys accountable to telling them the truth, fixing those blind spots, and fixing those labels they need. And here's what we say. And by the way, I'm giving you guys some strategies that could really, really help you. One, things that are built fast aren't made to last, the Jimmy John's example. But then this one for living in a false reality. If everyone is saying the same thing, it's probably true. It's really simple to help players. Maybe you need to hear that as a coach. If everyone keeps saying, man, your flame ain't burning the same way it used to. Coach, your energy ain't. If everyone's saying the same thing and only you and your husband or you and your wife or you and your assistant coach don't believe it, you're probably wrong. And I'll be really candid with you. When I was a college coach, kept saying like, Phil, you're a jerk. Phil, you're a jerk. Phil, you're a jerk. I'm not a jerk. Well, guess what? After about the 70th person that told me I was a jerk, I'm a jerk. So if we could get our players to realize like, hey, you're living in a false reality. Everyone's saying the same thing, and the only one who doesn't believe it is you. Here's a great NBA example. This guy keeps telling the guy I've trained, he's not an NBA player. He's just not good enough. He plays overseas. He's like, I'm an NBA player. I'm an NBA player. There's 30 GMs. There's 60 assistant GMs. There's a director of player personnel on every team. That's another 30. So it's 60, 90, 120, plus a handful of scouts. So all 200 people are wrong? You're an NBA player? It doesn't work that way. If everyone's saying the same thing, it's probably true. But if we want to coach the other way too and look for the separators for our players, how they could be better and how they could be different, here's what they are. 4 simple ones that we keep it to every pre-draft guy, every USA basketball guy I work with, I trained 2 high school kids this morning. We're going to coach them up on their maturity. We're going to coach them up on their authenticity. Do they tell the truth? Do they take the truth? Here's a great one. Are they who they say they are? If you say you're tough and you don't work out tough, you're not very authentic. If you say you're a good teammate, but you badmouth your other ones, you don't give high fives, you're not very authentic. Willingness. Talked about that with Damian Lillard. I mean, think about that. He's 20, actually he just turned 30, multi-millionaire. And it humbled me as a coach. I said, I got to do better. But, man, a willingness to just say, hey, I do what I'm told. That's a special, special elite individual. And then the last one's toughness. We all talk about toughness, and we got to define that better for our players. Because if we're going to give these separators, just like I defined them for you, we got to define them for our players. Because, like I said, I'm getting these from the best of the best. Everywhere I go, the best players, they have a high level maturity, high level of authenticity, high level willingness, and high level toughness. And toughness ain't just fist fight on. Toughness is being able to say no sometimes. No, I can't eat that. No, I can't stay out that late. No, I can't hang out with you guys while you smoke weed all night. That's a true level of toughness. The other one, for coaches, where we could be tough for our players, what I say, show up, do the work, show up again. Here's my contact info, and I'm going to end this. I'm going to show you one thing, but I just want you guys to have that. You could write me on Twitter, Be Better, Be Different. It's free resources. We have some great interviews you could share with your players on there. There's some T-shirts, hoodies, if you ever want to get them for players. It's the it's the shirt I'm wearing here. But if you guys could all see me, I hope. I want to end on this because I got on the GoFundMe for Finley before this, and Be Better, Be Different donated $100. And when I looked and got on this call, they were $125 short of the goal. And if you could tell, I'm a different dude. Like I don't care about some stuff in a good way. I'm going to give you the truth, whether you like it or not. There's 32 people on this call. I'm going to challenge you. Impact somebody else. If you have not donated yet, get your ass on there and donate. Because let's not just give the 125. Let's go above the 4,000. Be Better, Be Different believes in it. It's bigger than us. And here's why, guys. We all know when we pay things forward, it works. And I'll wrap up here, take 2 minutes to do. Two things. I'm driving to a coaching clinic 3 years ago. I'm about to speak to 300 coaches on 3 different basketball topics. I'm bored. I'm in the Uber. I'm driving there. So I'm like, I'm going to text Lillard. I had pick and roll development, skill development, offensive movement. I go, Dame, give me something great to give these guys. I figure he's going to be like, man, change pace, change direction. Man, do that. All these different things. 3 words pop up on my phone. Said, impact somebody else. And I just looked at it and I paused. I told over 300 coaches that day, that's the advice. You could learn something for your team. You guys probably just got fired up as coaches, fired up as players. We could give them all this information, but at the end of the day, it's useless if we don't impact somebody else. And a great way to do it is with Finley, like I said, $125 short. Be Better, Be Different. Just put $100 in, match it. Put 10 in, put 5 in. It will add up. And if you can't do that, go send this message to players. Go share some of these things with another coach because you guys are truly, truly doing something special. I know I'm almost 2 minutes over for my time, so thank you. Appreciate you guys having me. If I could ever do anything for you, reach out via email or Twitter. Love what you guys are about. Support all you coaches. Support all your conference more than you can imagine.
Phil, thank you so much for your time and taking some time for us tonight, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Beckner joining us, high-performance consultant for elite athletes, and we are just getting underway here. Let me do a couple things here shortly. Let me put our chat window up. If you want to take a look at the chat window, I will copy and paste the GoFundMe for Finley. As Phil was talking about that, I'll also show you what it looks like. We did it last night and showed you where it's at. So there's the Hoops for a Cause supporting Finley Grace. As he mentioned, we're at $3,875 of the $4,000 goal. If you are on GoFundMe, you can go donate now and you can add to that total. Also, if you aren't comfortable using GoFundMe, you'd rather send a check, let me show you how you can do that. I'll give you the address that you can send that to. And that is Funds for Finley, P.O. Box 7751, Havre, Montana, 59501. So if you'd rather send a check, that'll certainly get to her and her family as well. Again, the 4th annual Hoops for a Cause, as we are supporting Finley Grace Foster, and just an incredible young lady. And we are hoping to raise some money for that family. So again, those are the ways we can do it. If you look at the chat bubble, you can click to the GoFundMe from there. I'll continue to give you that address as the night goes as well, just so we make sure to, get the funds to her and her family. We had a chance to talk to Pat Foster, her dad, and Katie Whitmore, her mom, last night as well, and really kind of brought this whole thing into perspective. So, again, thanks for joining us. We are, I believe we're trying to round up Sean Hughes, is where we stood at last report. Everything went so smooth last night. I think we all got a little cocky, I'm not going to lie. But we do have Sean Hughes coming up next. If he is unable to join us immediately, if he has internet issues, hey, Sean is going to be on with us.
Hang on. Am I on? Yeah, we gotta get you turned up. Come on. Yeah.
All right.
Are we good?
So, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Hughes, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Well, you're obviously in the gym. You're getting ready to roll live, so I'm going to get out of your way, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Hughes, head coach of MSU Northern, 372 wins in his career. Sean, it's yours, my friend.
Hey, I got some Highline guys up here that are going to do some demonstrating for us tonight. So maybe we can pick up some ideas, probably stuff you've seen in some form or fashion. I don't know, but some things we do that might be kind of good to use. So let's warm up with our on-ball warm-up. Boy, ready? You're on. So we are refusing the on-ball to warm up with. Of course, we got a lot of guys, so you can get through your guys maybe a little faster, or whole bands, or wide baskets, in your station, whatever you want to do there, I guess. High school guys, got my boys out. Oh boy, look outside. That is pretty good for you. All right, let's go. Get this other side. Get this other side. Go ahead. You're a threat here, right? So your defender believes that you can go this way. If you're not a threat this way, then you keep you away from that all. Just want to make him right straight up. I don't know if anybody can hear me or not. I think you guys get the idea. Ready? Go ahead, Reed. Good. That's better. Much better. Good. There you go. Good. Good, Reed. Good. Right here. Nice left. Go back. Good. Hit it. Hit it. Good step through. Good. So again, whether you guys are popping, whether you guys are staying on balance, 1, 2 step, you just have to decide, of course, as a coach, how much you want to stress one or the other. We like 1, 2 here. Okay, try 1, 2 for me. Know that. Do what your coaches tell you at home, of course, right? Okay, good. Go ahead. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Good, John. Good, stay on balance. Good, right into it. He likes the hop. Good. Gotta hit that shot. That's a bunny, boys. That's a bunny. Good. Harder, I mean. Good pass. three in a row. Get three in a row. Be on balance. One. Obviously, with the idea, you can do different things on the arm ball if you want to do. It's a good way to warm up. Okay, let's get some dash passing. These guys are in summer league, so they know what they're doing. And this is again stuff we do. So, crossing each other. Here we go. I got a ball apart. Now you're back there. Get a ball apart. Right? Watch how perfectly these guys do this. Right, Hannah? Sure. Yes. Okay. So, perfect, right? Nice stance, get our stance. Okay, we don't pass two people very often, do we? Do we? No, we pass to what? We pass to the outside hand 90% of the time. So we really like doing these drills to get stronger at passing and receiving. You cannot catch or pass two hands. Ready? This side's right hand, that side's left hand. This side's right hand, that side's left hand. So you get them all there. Wide right. Make it work for it. Pull up one. Sorry. Outside. Make it reach for it. Make it reach for it. down there are doing a great job. These guys right here are doing a great job. Some of us in the middle, we got to get a little lower. Keep our paths here and stay steady. Don't want to be bottom, right? Stay low, steady. Okay, next one. Bounce, cross, throw, right? Throw. We like to bounce, cross. Share that ball with that group, will you? And you guys share it. Now we got 2 balls in the mix. We can start with just passing high, balance, and then we can get into all the other stuff with 2 balls. Okay, boy, let's just start with the high pass. Get nice stand here. Make more good. Go way outside. Good. That's what I like. Way outside. Good. Good. All right, now let's advance all the way up to bounce, cross, legs, throw. Ready? Yep, you got to do all of it. 1 bounce, 1 cross, 1 leg, throw. Eyes up and cross. Yes. Go ahead, try. Let's jump to 7 up shooting. 2 4 go 6 go that end. And get a ball. You got a ball. You guys know this is you got a ball. Yeah. You guys know what you're doing, right? Take turns, move your forward. Now, harder. Quickly, I got to tell them what we're doing here. It's the pressure shooting, fun pressure shooting game that we do with our guys. And any shooting we do has percentages involved, running involved, push-ups involved. If you don't meet percentages, or if you don't win, beating the other people, you got to have pressure on every shooting thing you do. So. With that, they're going to play it down there. Let's just take a look at it here. Go ahead. Elliot, you shoot first. Yep. Right now, there's nothing on the spot. This is called 7 up. Go ahead, right? Still nothing on it. Nothing on it. Nothing on it. What's the point up there? Nothing on it. Wait. If you went out of turn. Nothing on it. Go ahead, Katie. Nothing on it. Somebody make a shot. Bring it on. Who's gonna hit a shot? You can handle the pressure of the video. Come on. There you go, Brad. All right, now, hold on. Stand up as one. Brad, gotta remember what you have. Right? When you put one on, go ahead, right? See, you can start already. What you do? Go ahead, Mark. Pressure. Hey, nice shot, Taylor. All right, get with your basketball team. Russell, get with your basketball team. Okay, put down here. Oh, let's Roland, you go with these guys. Breathe. All right, you guys are at one ball. Okay. Fun game. You get 5 points on the board if you knock the pin over, and then we do it different. You can play it how you want to play it, but then after you knock the pin down, everybody races to their basket and has to make 5 offhand layups or 5 threes or whatever it might be. It's a good way to have some fun and compete and still work on some skills. Yeah. Okay. All right, very good. The whistle, roll. So when we have it down, go in your basket, you're going to make 10 offhand layups. 10 offhand layups. First thing, bring that up. They've got 20 right now. You guys got 5? All right, one more round. Here we go. You guys should put it out there. Okay. 5 3. Stand over. Right? Same thing. 5 3. Right there. 5 3. Let's see what you have. 24. 24. Practice. Ready? All right, here we go. Same thing. This is for 25. Same thing. Hey, one more thing. One more thing. 3 on 3, no check. 3 on 3, no check. Let's see, okay, there's 3 on 3. Good. Let's play it down there while we're at it. 3 on 3, no check. Okay, this is a great one to play when we don't have numbers. I think I gave this to the NCAA one year. This one we can see live. Now, big believer in all of our sets, all of our stuff. Sure, most of you do it. Breaking down the meat. We call them our meat drills, 3 on 3. And whatever actions you have that are the meat of your play, you can make them start with that every time and then play through them, right? So, but this is no check. So we just race it out to the 3-point line, away we go. We've got to get it out of the net strong, race it out. Yeah, you guys got it? Good, let's see what we got. Thank you. We'll fill that in too. So I told them that I could start with our actions. So here we go on this one, for example, split screen is something that's good in one of your plays you really want to work on it that week. Every start has to begin. Every one of these has to start with a split. Got it? Let's just try it. Let's practice. Split. Listen, you got it. Thank you. I'm sure everybody out there is giving you a round of applause. We're living in virtual world. But this is a pretty awesome thing. Thank you to Coach Seymour. You guys have a new coach this year. Coach Taylor Olson. Coach Whalen at Aberhigh played for me, and a lot of these are his guys. Who am I missing? And so I just kind of got a mix of guys that showed up for me tonight. I can't tell you much. I appreciate them and their coaches for doing this for me. And hopefully you guys got a little work out. But that's, I think I'm done. So I better shut her down. And, oops.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Sean Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Coach. Coach Sean Hughes from the Lights of MSU Northern on the men's side, showing us some drills in the gym. The first time we have seen that here in the last couple of days. Sean, 372 wins in his career. And honestly, you know, we always talked about how hard it was to win at LC and on the road to West Mini when they were in the conference. Beating Northern in the Armory is incredibly tough as well. Sean Hughes, his program was 221 and 55 at home. An awfully good percentage for them on their home ground. So as we continue along, again, thanks for joining us. 4th annual Hoops for a Cause. We're raising money for Finley Grace Foster this year. And, you know, you can go to that GoFundMe. I put it in the chat. You can go take a look at that. I'll give you the address again. If you'd rather send a check in, this is the address that you can do that to. The funds for Finley, P.O. Box 7751, Havre, Montana 59501. There's the GoFundMe, and if you just search for Finley Grace Foster as well, you can do that on your own time rather than using the link that I sent in earlier. So that is where we stand with Coach Hughes, and that brings up Chris Mowat next, ladies and gentlemen, the guy that got this whole thing started 4 years ago. Brother, you and I are actually going to talk at the end of the evening, and I hope everybody will stick around for it. We're going to talk about how this thing started and how we moved into this year. We have a lot of ground to cover, but that will be at the end. Now we're going to have you put your coach hat on and take us through this a little bit. 15 years at Northern, 266 wins. You've got 9 All-Americans, my friend, 2 first-team All-Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Moat from MSU Northern. Coach, you've been in every other community around the states, raising money for kids. This one, obviously very close to home.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And too many people to thank right now. I think we hit on that at the end of the night. But I saw we just reached our goal of $4,000, which, I knew that was a low goal. I thought we'd go over that, and I know we're going to. So just really appreciative of the people that have donated, and obviously the coaches that are talking. I thought our opener tonight, he was awesome. That's just been really, really good. Some really good stuff. And at the bottom line, this all takes time. And as I'm learning today, patience. It's been a long day. So it might just be you and I talking for 30 minutes if this don't go right. But no, I just really appreciative. It's a great thing. I know Pat and Katie and obviously Finley are very appreciative. So been a ton of fun. And I know we got some more things to do tonight. So we'll just keep it rolling. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Now I see Josh Moat has entered the waiting room for this meeting. I don't know what's going on here. I'm telling you, if this works, I don't know. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Uh-oh. You just went dead. Did I lose you?
The ball is in your court, brother. It's all you.
All right, man. Let's see if we can do this. All right, Jenna. It's going to be Jenna Bolstad time in a second here. Just a sec. We'll get there. Jenna, you on me here? You know what we're doing here?
You gotta just share your coach.
What's that?
Just share your screen.
Yeah, but I'm out of Zoom again. Get me into Zoom.
Nope, you're on. You're still on. Just share your screen.
All right, just a sec, boss. Sorry. There we go. Jenna, when I look at your picture, I feel like you're laughing at me right now, just so you know.
Well, I kind of am.
She probably is, yeah.
All right, we're going to just show some really good shooting drills. So we'll get on and talk to you about them afterwards. But looks like we got her up and running here. So we'll go back to the beginning and just let her roll.
Chris Moat, I'm the women's basketball coach at MSU Northern. Thanks to everybody who's logged in and watching, and a big time thanks to all the Frontier Conference coaches who've taken time to present at the 4th annual Hoops for a Cause. I'm going to present some individual improvement drills. Hopefully everything makes sense. If you have any questions, my contact information is listed. Feel free to contact me. I'm going to share 6 drills that we use. We didn't shoot it well enough from the field or the three-point line last season, so the shooting has definitely been a point of emphasis for us in the off-season. Most of the drills are based on time, total number of shots made, or both. And being fully transparent, most of the drills are stolen from really good coaches. I'd like to thank my filmer. She's our manager, Abby Morse, as well as the people shooting in the videos. Kendall Keller will be a freshman for the Lady Grizz. Morgan Mason will be a sophomore for us at Northern. Sadie Filius will be a junior at Havre High School. And Matthew Hughes, you'll see him, Coach Hughes' son. He's in one of the drills. He's going to be an 8th grader at Havre Middle School. I'd also like to thank my brother Josh Moat for putting this presentation together for me. So with that, let's get to the drills. Okay, this drill is called 20-second shooting. It's a very simple drill. I think if you do it 3 or 4 times, it's a good conditioner as well as getting some shots up. A good kind of warm-up drill, but very simple. Start from the free throw line, and you're going to time it. Your shooter is going to take a shot, follow the shot, and then dribble back to the free throw line and repeat. That's all it is. Your goal is to make 6 shots in 20 seconds. We've only had 2 kids do this over the summer and make 6 shots in the 20 seconds. So I know it's a challenge, but again, an excellent warm-up and conditioner. All right, here's Morgan doing the 20-second shooting. 1 for 1, dribbling back, 1 for 2, 2 for 3. You got to get good bounces to get 6 shots up. 2 for 4. 2 for 5, and she doesn't quite get her last one up in the 20 seconds. Our next drill is just called a minute 30, and this is from a friend of mine at Campbellsville University, Ginger Colvin. This is a 3-point shooting drill. Your goal is to make as quickly as possible 2 in a row at all 5 of the primary 3-point spots. So corner, wing, top of key, wing, and then corner, moving around the 3-point arc. Those don't count towards your score. All right, after you've hit those 2 in a row at all 5 spots, then you're going to race to the top of the key, and you're going to make as many as you can in whatever time you have left. The Campbellsville goal and the record right now is 28. The most I've seen of our kids in high school and other kids doing this is about 13. So 28 is a heck of a number, but we'll take a look at it here. Again, this is the minute 30 drill. Okay, now we've got Bailey Finn from Big Timber. Happened to be in town. She's a cousin of Sadie Filius, so she's in the gym trying to do the minute 30 drill. She right away got past the first spot with her 2 in a row. Again, trying to do 2 in a row per spot at the 5 primary spots, and then the opportunity to shoot at the top of the key to make as many as you can. The one mistake I made in this after talking to Coach Colvin was you get to start on a make, and if you watch what she did, she actually started on a miss, so that's my mistake with it, and we've been running the drill wrong all summer, so that's good to know. But again, she's trying to work all the way around the horn to the opposite wing now, and then quickly to the opposite corner, trying to get that as much time as you can have to shoot at the top of the key. So here she moves to the top of the key, and everything from here counts now, so we'll count her score going up. So there she's got 1. Bailey was a couple-time Elks free throw national champion. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and time's running down. Again, short drill, there's 7. I think this last one she barely got off, but missed it right at the buzzer. So finished with 7. This next drill is just closeouts to star 3s. So we're going to get 5 3s up, 1 from each of the primary spots on the floor. But what we're going to start off with is a little closeout footwork. So starting on 1 lane, close out to the elbow, touch the elbow, drop step to the opposite block, close out to the other elbow, drop step to the opposite block. Then you're going to touch that block and head out to the opposite corner for your first 3. And from there, you can shoot them in any order you want. You're just going to shoot 1 3 from each of the 5 primary spots. The goal is to go 5 for 5, dribbling everywhere you go. This usually takes about 35 seconds, and we've had quite a few people this summer hit 5 out of 5. So we'll check it out. All right, so this is Matthew Hughes, Coach Hughes' son. He's going to do a closeout, touch the elbow, close out again, touch the elbow, touch the block, and then go out to the opposite side. Now he's going to shoot 5 3s from here, 1 at each spot. His goal is to make all 5. So he's 1 for 1, chasing his own rebound, dribbling everywhere he goes. 2 for 2. Maddie's an 8th grader, going to be a good little player. 2 for 3. 3 for 4. He's got a chance for 4 out of 5. Obviously, 5 out of 5 is the goal. A pretty good job out of Matt. Our next drill is the big shot drill. This is a Mike Neighbors drill. They call it their green light shooting, where you have to make a certain number in a certain number of drills throughout every week to get the absolute green light from the 3. And I think it's a good one. You're going to, again, shoot from all 5 primary spots on the 3-point line. You get to start in a spot and shoot until you miss 2 in a row. So that second miss always becomes a big shot that you need to make. You get 1 point per spot. After your second miss, you move spots. Again, the goal for us right now is 100 makes. Kelsey Plum, who played for Mike at University of Washington and then in the WNBA, in one spot one time made 167 shots. And so the 100 is a reasonable goal. I think the high we've had this summer is about 90. I don't think anybody's made over 100. I know we had a player a couple years ago who made 113 or something like that. But if you have a bad day and you're missing 2 in a row, you're moving on. And so that's kind of the premise of the drill. So we'll check it out here. So this is Morgan shooting the big shot drill. I'm going to start in the corner, shoot at all 5 spots. If you miss 2 in a row at any spot, you got to move on. So let's see how she goes here. This is definitely not her best workout of the summer, but starts off with a make, so she's got 1. Right away, a big shot. And she answers, which is good. She's got 2. Another big shot coming up. 3. 4, 5, 6. Big shot. 7. Good answer. 8, 9. Okay, big shot coming up. Okay, got to move. She missed 2 in a row. So now she's at 9. Big shot right away. 10. Big shot again. 11. Big shot again. Okay, got to move. 2 in a row. Missed 2 in a row. 12. Big shot. Got to move. Big shot again. Got to move. Big shot. Okay, so she's done. Pretty good start, not the best finish. I think, again, her high is 70-some over the summer. But to think that Kelsey Plum was able to make 167 at one spot alone is pretty incredible. So that's the big shot drill. This next drill is called 32s. Again, this is another of Coach Neighbor's green light shooting drills. You're going to shoot from all 5 primary spots on the 3-point line. And you're going to start, let's say, in the corner. You can get 6 points per spot. So the first shot you're going to shoot is a driving layup. You can finish different ways around the rim. That's worth 1 point. Then you're going to get your rebound, dribble out to the mid-range from that same area, and shoot the mid-range jumper. That's worth 2 points. Then you're going to get your rebound, dribble all the way out to the 3, and shoot the 3, which is worth 3 points. So at each spot, you can get a total of 6 points. You're going to repeat that at all 5 spots, and then finish with a 1-on-1. So able to get 6 points per spot times 5 spots is 30 points, and then the 1-on-1, each of those are worth 1, so you could get a maximum of 32. You're going to do this starting at each spot, so 5 different rounds, and take your average of those 5 rounds. The average for green light shooting we're looking for is a 23. So let's check it out. All right, this drill's the 32s, and Morgan's going to start it off here. So she's going to take a layup, then a mid-range, and a 3 from each of the spots out here. So there's worth 1 on the layup, worth 2 on the jumper. So now she's at 3 points. The 3 is worth 3. So there she's got 3 points. Moves to the wing. Layup is worth 1. There's 4. Mid-range 2. So she's still at 4. Moving to the top of the key. Takes her layup. There's 5. Mid-range. 7. And the 3 is worth 3. So she's at 10. Layup again. 11. Mid-range worth 2. 13. And the 3 worth 3. She's at 13. The goal is to average over the 5 spots that you're going to start at a different spot every time, but average 23. There's 14, 16, 19. Now she gets a 1-on-1, each worth 1 point. 20. And 21. So she started in the corner that time. The next time she's going to start at the wing. The following time will be at the point, then the opposite wing in the corner. She'll do those 5 rounds in 10 minutes. And, you know, if they're pushing 5, you can get that done in 10 minutes. And, again, the average you're looking for over the 5 rounds is a 23. This next drill is called the Zags shooting drill. This comes from Kelly Graves, who's now at the University of Oregon, used to be at Gonzaga. Again, you're shooting from the 5 primary spots on the 3-point line. What we're trying to do is make 3 in a row at each spot, going all the way around the arc at all 5 spots. After getting around the arc and finishing those 3 in a rows, you're going to try to hit 1 coming back from each spot in a row. So you've got to make 5 threes in a row to finish the drill. If you miss 1 at any of those spots, you have to go back and start over. And you'll see that happen here with Kendall when she shoots, where she had to go back and start over a couple times. This is a timed drill. Your goal is to complete it in under 5 minutes, and we've seen somebody go as fast as 1:56 and 2:32 seconds, and I've also seen people who can't get off a certain spot in the 5 minutes and they're stuck and they finish the drill that way. So it's a great drill conditioning wise, get a lot of reps up. So here's Zeg shooting. All right, this is the Zags shooting drill. Again, a Kelly Graves drill from University of Oregon, who used to be at Gonzaga. Kendall's trying to make 3 in a row at each of the 5 primary spots. Then she's going to try to hit 1 in a row coming back. And this takes her a little bit of time, so we're going to have to be patient and see it happen. But she does finish the drill in under 5 minutes, which is the goal. Again, we've had a couple kids do this really quick this year, and we've had kids that can't get off a spot. So there she just hit her 3 in a row, gets to move off the first spot. It's nice when you have rebounders and passers. I wouldn't suggest doing this on your own. But it's one of those drills that can get really frustrating, but it's also pretty rewarding when you get through it and actually finish it. I've talked to all my kids when they've done it for the first time. They're pretty excited about it. And little Matthew Hughes actually finished it for the first time the other day, so in under the 5 minutes. Now Kendall's trying to get off the second spot. Kendall's really improved over the summer from the 3-point line. She's had a couple of really good days with this drill. There's her 2 in a row. Now she moves. There's 1 and 2 and 3. That was a good spot. Got it done quick. Now she's heating up a little bit. And I jinx her, of course. And there's 1 and 2 and 3. Now she's got 1 spot left. Ideally, we'd have the time on the clock up there so she can see where she's at. My filmer didn't get that set up that day, but that's okay. Hopefully we can get that on the screen as we put this video together. Okay, so now Kendall's done with the 5 spots of 3 in a row. Now it's a matter of making 5 in a row, 1 from each spot coming back. So she moves. If she misses, she's got to start over. Now she's 2. Okay, now she's got to go back to the beginning, trying to hit those 1 in a row from each spot. And there's 2. 3, so she's got 2 left to finish the drill. Back to the beginning. You can see where it can get frustrating, but definitely something good when you achieve it and finish it. I think all these drills are good conditioners if you're going hard. I think that's what our kids have gotten out of it too, is some good conditioning. So again, back to the beginning. I think this is the time she completes it. Nope, I'm wrong. There's 1 and 2. Now she's got 2 left. She's been to this spot before. Nails it. Got to finish it, the drill. So she finishes at about 3:45 on my count. So great job by her sticking with it, and you can see where it's a lot of shooting. You can get a lot of shots up, conditioning, everything. So there's the Zags drill.
You're unmuted, Coach.
Okay, sorry about that. Am I on with Paul or just you and me hanging out?
I can be here if you want me to be here. I'm like the genie.
You are. You just magically appear. It's awesome. Yeah. So hopefully some of those shooting drills, I've really liked them. There's just subtle changes to what we've done over the years, and they've been good for our kids this year. But I think anybody at any level can do them. When you watch Matt do one of them, and then you watch high school kids, college kids, I think they're all really good. But in all honesty, this clinic, this virtual clinic is an idea that is not mine by any means. When I heard the MCA clinic was closing and not going to happen this year, that was a bummer, major for coaches across the state, including myself. But I thought we could do this because I'd attended one. Russ Davis from Vanguard is a great friend of mine. And we watched his. I mean, it was really powerful, really good stuff, and everybody shared. And I think that was really good. But Kelly Graves was one I got to watch there. And Mike Neighbors was somebody through Russ I've been able to meet. He's just a really good advocate for the game and a Hall of Famer. So I have to give him that credit because tonight wouldn't be happening without that little spark and an idea that, hey, okay, we don't have Hoops for a Cause in a gym this year, but what can we do? And how can we still raise some money to help somebody? So thanks to Russ, big time.
Well, and that certainly is a big part, but thanks to you. I mean, and we'll talk about it again later. I mean, this doesn't happen without you and Natalie in year one and you through the years without, since then. This is a great cause. And again, we'll put up the address, we'll put up the GoFundMe, we'll raise some money for Finley. But, Coach, is your blood pressure okay? Are you all right? Do you have a doctor there? Are you checking? You okay?
I felt like that kid. I told Jen, I felt like that kid in the kindergarten group at camp. You teach them a right-hand layup off the left foot, and by Friday, they're still shooting off the right foot. That was me all day today. That was me. That's the picture of my day. So to hit video and have it go, and somebody said it's working, I said good. So my brother did a lot of work on that for me. He made a really good presentation, but today there were some glitches with our internet and some things. So yeah, the blood pressure's been a little high, not gonna lie, but just to see everybody come on here though, and even the people that are watching, we just appreciate it. The Frontier coaches are so awesome, and without them, nothing works. Without them, especially in that first year when we did want to go to Butte and help, but then I realized that's too much for two people, and I called the Frontier coaches, and they were there, and we did this incredible thing. Emotional, obviously, they've all been that way, I think, to a degree, but that was a really hard one because it's only been a few months. And so where we're at now, we've seen Finley. There was a ton of fundraisers for her when she was really, really little. And I've just kept an eye on her. And just with the recent things, I think it's the right time. And so whoever's donated, coaches that are helping, I can't thank them enough. So it's been really, really awesome. And I tell you what, this is my friends. Some of them were on here last night, and they said, man, that guy that's moderating, he's awesome. So I can get you a job if you ever decide to leave. Maybe even your wife too.
I might need one. Hey, we could be onto something.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, right. You are your worst critic. You bang on yourself about how bad your teams are and how bad you are.
I got a couple watching. Don't tell them that.
You're an exceptional coach, and everybody in this conference will tell you the exact same thing. They always know what to expect. You're going to come with great defense. You're going to score. You do an incredible job, Chris. So don't undercut yourself at all. You wouldn't be alive in this conference as long as you have been if you weren't a fantastic coach. So at least accept that, for goodness sake.
I appreciate it, Tony. It keeps getting better. We don't have a dog in our league. There's not. And that starts with coaches, and it goes to players and everything else. It's an incredible league, men and women. And I think that shows nationally at the tournament. It shows, in the national rankings, all that kind of stuff, All-Americans, you name it. Our league is just tough. And, I appreciate the people in our league tonight. This night, once a year, more than ever, because of the people there, not just the coaches, but the people, just taking the time and give us something, and so hopefully people were able to get something from mine. And, I am an open book. If they ever want anything else, you can get a hold of me at the MSU Northern. It's very easy, and love to talk basketball. So awesome. Yeah. But thank you again. Big time. And Jenna, I'm joking back and forth all day, but this isn't happening without her. I mean, the trial runs, I didn't realize that the trial runs were, going to lead to this, where we, the second before I push a button, I feel like the bomb's going to go off. So no, it's been really, really good, and looking forward to the rest.
And you and I will talk again later on. So we urge people to stick around after we get Coach Drykosen. And I keep telling him he has to wear the jacket. I mean, he has to wear the jacket.
I think it's likely.
after we talk to Coach Drykosen, you and I'll chat again, and we'll kind of wrap things up. So please, people, stick around for that. And anything else, Moe, before you hang it up, my friend?
No, just thanks everybody. People that are watching, people that have donated, everything. It's great. The two funds between them, I know we're going to be in a good place to help Pat and Katie and Finley, and that's what it's about. So just thanks to everybody.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
And our next is Coach Sayers, and this is actually, we have a couple minutes, but we're actually ahead of schedule. Can you believe that? We have a meeting ahead of schedule. So with that, let me do this real quickly. Let's do a little share screen of the GoFundMe. I keep hitting you with this, but this is why we're here. That young lady, that great smile, you saw the pictures earlier. She is the reason that we are here raising money here today, is Finley Grace. If you want to go to the GoFundMe, I urge you to do so. Those numbers, actually, let me refresh that because we're over that. There we go. So we're at $4,100. Jeffrey Graham, Coach Graham, how you doing, buddy? Love that guy. Everybody who has supported Finley to this point, thank you. Those that are going to as the night goes or whenever, thank you as well. And thank you for being a part of this. So there's the GoFundMe as it sits. Let me show you. I will put it in the chat window again. If you want to click on your chat window, you will be able to click on the GoFundMe and head right there. If you go over to your chat window, that's where actually Jeff Graham was kind of mouthing off to people in the chat window yesterday. So you can go take a look at that there. And then, hi, Coach Sayers, give me one sec. I'm going to share this real quickly. Here is the street address. If you'd like to send it to a P.O. box, if you'd rather send it to a check or whatever the case is, you can send it to Funds for Finley, P.O. Box 7751, Havre, Montana, 59501. Okay, so again, we're here raising money for Finley Grace Foster. We're here to talk to our outstanding coaches in the Frontier Conference. And this feels like a testimonial, Coach Sayers. I have to tell you, I love Moe. I love Carly. I love all of our coaches. But I'm going to tell you flat out, if I wanted to play for a coach, it'd be you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I've had the luxury of obviously watching you in conference. I love the way you coach. I love the way you go about things. 9 seasons at Carroll, 178 wins, 11 All-Americans. The great Hannah Dean was a first-team All-American for you. And the other side that really jumps out is you were one of the first to pick up the mantle when Coach Moe started making the calls for year one. Carroll College was here in force for the Alex Thatcher Memorial Scholarship, and for that I say thank you.
Well, it's been a great cause, and Coach Moe has done so much work for it. But I think it really gave us a chance to use our platform as coaches and members of our community to step up and put our competitiveness aside and really come together and do something for somebody else. And, I think it's been great. It's built some great relationships. I don't think I was necessarily a favorite going into Tech in my early years, but I think that definitely, we have kind of a joke, Hattie Thatcher and I do. Her dad told me, she didn't like you any more than you liked her. And after having that experience with that family, one of the best families I've ever been around. And we learned pretty quickly we didn't like each other because we both wanted to rip each other's throat out to win the game. But you learn pretty quick the things that are important. And what we do is a game. And it's a fun game, and the competition and all the places we get to go and the places it takes us are great. But what these families go through and what they've gone through is much more important. And if we can reach out and help in any way, it's definitely something we need to do.
Coach Sayers, it's all yours. Thank you.
Well, Chris was supposed to have some more difficulties, so this didn't look so easy. Oh, see, I already screwed it up. Share my screen. All right, we ready? Okay, well, we're going to talk a little bit tonight about a defense that's kind of changed our culture a little bit. It's a little bit different than our traditional zones that we see, and we kind of stumbled upon it. I had a great mentor when I got hired here at Carroll, and Coach Gary Turcotte, and coached under a great defensive mind at Weber State, played for Carla Taylor, who spent a lot of time around Elaine Elliott learning a lot of these things. And I was not a great defensive player. was still learning how to coach defense, and trying to, really guard some of the great players in this conference was a struggle. And so, we kind of stumbled upon this, and we put it in about 7 years ago, and we fiddled around with it. And then about 4 years after, for about the last 4 years, we've really committed to this. And I was once told, and Coach Turcotte would always remind me, that it's our job to keep changing defenses until we find a defense that the offense quits attacking. And so we've kind of found that in this zone. It's been pretty good for us in the last 4 years. Obviously this year with the shortened season, we had 21 wins. We allowed 57.2 points, and we forced 17 turnovers. The year before, 26 wins, gave up 52 points, forced 18 turnovers. And then you can kind of see where this zone has taken us. And I think we were always a pretty good defensive team. The struggle was, we would have to grind it out with teams and win 55-50. And we were last in the league in forcing turnovers, and I couldn't figure out why we were so bad in that. And so this zone has really helped kind of propel our offense a little bit. And, our kids really like to play it. One of the advantages, and some of the advantages I think in this 1-1-3 versus your traditional 2-3, a lot of teams like to really hurt you in the high post. You saw, Coach Woolley and Coach Keller last night talk about, the short slide, that short roll in the high post, and Woolley has those cutters in that high post area. And if you can get the ball in there, you can really hurt a zone. And so that is one of the advantages of this 1-1-3. And then the one thing I really like, we've never been the most athletic or the fastest in the league. I think we're getting faster. I think we got some speedsters the last couple years, but you're able to put a lot of pressure on the ball and extend the defense. And these kids don't have a fear of getting beat, because we're going to trap all those dribble penetrations. So if they get beat off the ball, they know that their buddy's right there to help them out a little bit. So they're able to get up and really pressure. I think it works great with small lineups. You talked about Hannah Dean being a 5'10", 5'11" center. Michaela Dowdy also played that center spot in this zone, was really good in it. And it can be easily disguised. You can change the fronts of it pretty easy, and we'll show a little bit of how we match up with an even front, and then how we show our traditional 1-1-3. And I think for your point guards, when a point guard's coming down the floor and somebody's always on them in pressure, and it's hard for them to really, know exactly what the defense is doing. I like the options for trapping or short sliding versus, depending on your opponent. And then unlike other zones, it does create some turnovers for us. And I think that's a big one. And that's why the kids like it. And so the hardest part for us to teach our kids is, those deflections. Those are what we're really working for. It's not those steals. I mean, you can gamble and you're going to get one out of about every 8 you go for, but those deflections, you are the deflector. Somebody else gets to go pick that pass off. You are just the deflector. And so, the disadvantages, you have to have players that are willing to cover ground and have active hands and get after it a little bit. They have to want to be aggressive. They can't be worried about getting beat. If you aren't aggressive, you're going to give up a lot of open looks, because, it is a zone. Somebody is open, and you'll see from our clips, you'll probably look at it and think, well, it's not very good. You got people wide open, but I think the ball pressure changes that. It is hard to rebound out of. You have to work at it. Again, just like any other zone, you're not necessarily matched up. And then corner threes are tough. They're tough because your center's out of position to rebound. And so that is the tough one. Obviously, we feel like it's not one where a lot of players are going to hit a lot, but you will give up a lot of rebounds out of there. And then the one thing that we've struggled with a little bit when you do go back to man, your closeouts aren't always the best. We teach our man principles first, and we really believe in forcing the defense, or forcing the offense to go baseline. We don't like to give up middle penetration, but in this zone, you got to really take away that baseline. You want middle penetration. You want those middle drives. And so, kind of the way we've done this, I did a little bit differently. I've got some clips of us doing it, but I think the best way to really show it is to break it down. So I was fortunate to have some alumni in town that I could Con into coming in and doing this, and some of my kids and family as well. And so I'm just going to kind of break this down for you. And we always start with our guards up top. Whenever we put this zone in, our guards are 1 and our 2. You know, that is where it starts. If they're not going to get up and ball pressure, this thing won't work. And so they've got to get up and be aggressive. And their job is to trap dribble penetration and keep the ball out of the high post. And so you'll see when we put this in, we talk about the strong guard and the weak guard. And it's really similar to, are you on the ball side or are you on the weak side? Same with strong and weak. Strong guard's job is to trap dribble penetration and keep that ball out of the high post. It's not to steal. It's not to deflect. It's not to get the pass back to the point. She's got to keep herself right on that elbow area, trap the dribble penetration, and keep that ball from getting in the high post. The weak guard's job is jump up there when that ball comes to the point and keep the ball on the same side. We don't want that thing reversed. You know, if that point guard goes anywhere, she's got to dribble right into her buddy. When the ball's up top, we call that home base. We're in our 1-1-3. We are home. And we're all set up how we want. When the ball's in the corner, really important that our guard gets the cutoff pass back to the wing. And so we'll just show you a little bit of this. So this is just a group of kids in here. A couple of them only done it for the first time. Then you'll see some alumni that have done it a little bit.
Okay, 2 guards in, working on getting to strong and weak position and keeping the ball to one side with a lot of ball pressure up top. All right, go. Good. Pressure one side. There you go. Good. Strong. Good. Keep the ball to one side.
Pressure. So you see right there, we need this daughter of mine to get up on the outside of this player with the ball here and really pressure her. So the only option she has is to go back where it came from or to attack this area right here. And this is where our guard's supposed to be so that we can trap that dribble penetration if she chooses to.
Good. Good. Stop. Good.
So this is the cutoff position.
Cutoff when the ball goes to the corner. Okay, here we go.
So this is practicing ball goes to the corner. We're either trapping or short sliding, and we do not want that ball to come right back from where it came from. So we've got to sprint over there and take that pass. We're back to home base.
Good. Back to home. Good.
You could tell that's a assistant, my assistant out there, Bailey. She's ran this quite a bit, so she knows kind of how that works. So now we had our forward. So this is how we put this zone in, and we'll work this like this for weeks. These guys will continue to work on those spots. Our forwards are also really, really important. And it's hard for the forwards, especially when you have 4 out. They worry about that corner shooter, and to get them to understand that is not their job. Their job is to get up there and make it hard to get that ball passed down there. So they gotta close out really aggressive on the baseline side. They can't allow any direct line pass to the corner. It's got to go over hands, it's got to go around hands, but that wing can't just turn and throw that thing to the corner. Ball side forward must be ready to trap or short slide. So the minute the ball leaves her player's hands, she's got to sprint to a short slide or she's got to sprint to a trap. When the ball's on top, our forwards are up. So ball's on top, we're in home base, our forwards are up. They have to get that next pass. When the ball's on on the wing, similar as man concepts, your weak side forward is weak side block. And when your center is out trapping, that weak side forward has to come all the way over and get a hand underneath that center or anybody that's diving to that ball side block. So you'll see that next here.
Okay, now we're going 3-on-2 with our forwards, working on our ball pressure in the wings, making sure we have baseline side closeouts. Okay, here we go. Weak side forward, weak side block, balls passed, weak side forward, weak side block, balls passed, back to home. Good.
So you see this closeout here. This is obviously an ex-Lady Grizz here, helping us out a little bit. Has not ran this zone before, but great closeout. But to baseline here, this is the closeout I'm talking about. Now, if you remember when we did the guard drill, that strong guard is standing right here. So if this guard gets anxious and she wants to try to attack this zone, we're going to lead her right into a trap.
Good. And 2 on 5, working on our forwards, getting to the strong side quickly, weak side forward, weak side block, ball goes to the corner, and our weak side forwards have to get underneath the center that is on the ball side block, and our forward on the ball is working on her trapping position. Okay, here we go. Good, good. Good, trap, trap, trap.
So you'll see this trap. Okay, now envision our center coming out, trapping with the forward. And Hannah Dean here was probably the best we've ever had in this zone, getting all the way to the ball side block and underneath. We want her on the baseline side because, again, think of where this guard is. Okay, it's her job to get a flick. It's her job to get a flick. Okay, no direct line passes.
Skip. Home. Good. Return, weak side forward, weak side block. Ball goes to corner, underneath, trap, and good.
Okay, now this is where
Your guards are up, the forwards are
we'll
up.
adjust a little bit to whatever front the offense throws at us. And obviously we have some great coaches in our league. We have great players in our league, and they're gonna adjust up top, and we're gonna have to be able to change. So this is where we work with our guards and our forwards to recognize that if we're 2 guard or if we're home base, and you'll see them slide into it. So 2 guard would basically mean these forwards are matched here with the baseline people, and our guards are matched. More of a traditional 2-3 look or matchup. And we're home base, we're right back to where they're at right now.
Your guards are back, and a 2 guard means your forwards are back. This is what it looks like.
Good, Mike.
Go back up. Hold on. Good. Good. Back up.
A little confusion there. Again, remember, this is the first time that some of these kids had done this. Okay, so the last person we got to add is our centers. Now your center, they got to go corner to corner. And so obviously with a player like Michaela Dowdy or Hannah Dean, these guys can cover some serious ground. So this is why I say this zone is a great zone. If you have, an undersized post or you have a post that can really move. And so the key for them and the number one rule from them is they have to be in a direct line between the ball and the basket at all times. Wherever the ball is, they're in a direct line. They can't be standing behind the post or the front line there. They have to be between the two. And they've got to cover ground. They have trapping and short sliding responsibilities, and this center is really the cog to your defense, because if they can't get to the corners and we're trying to trap or short slide, we are in trouble. So here's our center rotation drill.
Now we're working our center position. Our center's job is to always be in a direct line between the ball and the basket. So we've got four offensive players for her to defend here. She's got 2 blocks and 2 corners. Okay, here we go. Direct line ball and basket, good. Direct line ball and basket, good. Good. Get it to the corner. Sprint to the shooter, hands up, good. Direct line ball and basket, good. Hands up, direct line ball and basket, good. Sprint to the shooter, good.
Okay, so now we've got them all out there. We typically go 5-on-6 or 5-on-7. So this is our 5-on-6. We're going to be trapping now. We're going to kind of put it all together here.
We got everybody out. Okay, we're just working on our positions. We're going pressuring on the guard, not allowing a direct line, or pressuring up by the forward, not allowing a direct line pass to the corners. Okay? All right, here we go.
Okay, so this one's a little different. Now this shows us our short slide fire option.
Okay, now we're gonna work on a short slide versus a trap. So when the ball goes to the corner, you'll see our forwards turn, hit, snap, find the ball as quick as possible. Center's job is to not get beat on the ball, but to also not give up a shot. Good, follow back, good. One more time, good. Good, turn and goes. Good, one more.
These three have all done this. Get them back in it.
5 versus 6 again.
So my video operator over here that keeps clicking, she missed our short slide fire here. So here's our 5 versus 6.
Okay, now we're going to work on a short slide versus a trap.
Okay, so here's our 5 here on our short slide.
5 versus 6 again, adding the guards. The biggest key to the short slide is that your guard gets the cutoff. We have to make them skip it out of here. We can't allow it to go back to the guard on that side. Okay, here we go. Getting it to the corner.
They've done that quite a bit. Okay, now we go to our dribble.
Okay, so now we're going to work on trapping dribble penetration from up top. Okay, here we go. Good. Short slide with dribble penetration trap. Here's our short slide, dribble penetration trap. Good. One more time to the corner. Good. Short slide, dribble penetration, late trap. Good. Good.
So, you know, the thing that we really like about that is the kids really like that zone. And, you know, we threw that in, like I said, about 7 years ago for a couple games and kind of put it away and then brought it back. And it's really helped us. It's helped us, you know, to be able to get a little more active. It's helped us because we haven't always had the biggest posts. And the hardest thing with it is a high risk, high reward. I think once you get a steal, the kids start getting antsy. That strong guard's supposed to be on the corner and sometimes on that elbow, and sometimes she treats up and tries to pick off that pass to the point guard. And you really got to coach them up to make sure they understand that deflections are like gold. Like the most important thing you can get in this defense is deflections. You know, steals are fool's gold. Okay, like I said earlier, you're going to get, you know, 1 of every 8 you go for, and the other 7 times you're going to end up getting your buddy beat because you're not where they're counting on you to be. And so, you know, Hannah Dean was the best we've had in this zone. And we really chart deflections. I think one game alone in a conference game was a really good game. It was a back and forth battle, but at the end of the game, Hannah Dean had 19 deflections herself in one game. And so, you know, it's hard to get kids to buy into that. We struggle with it in traps when we're trapping people. We want to try to tie the ball up. We want to try to take it out of their hands. And most of the time they end up pivoting through it or we end up fouling them. And so it's really important that you can get them to understand that they don't, if they're in the trap, you know, their job is not to steal it or turn them over. They don't get that. They don't get to do that. They're trying to deflect it so somebody else can do it. And so that's what we really play for, is those deflections. You know, so we do feel like, you know, it has helped us improve our ability to turn people over. I think, you know, a lot of times shots get a little rushed. You know, the pressure sometimes lead to the panic dribble. You know, a lot of times coaches, you know, as coaches, we want to attack zones. You want to attack it with dribble penetration, and we're on our kids about doing that. And after they've got trapped a couple times or turned it over, you know, it gets them out of rhythm. They stop attacking. It's hard to get really good open looks in if everybody's doing their job. And you know that probably the high risk though is you're out of position on your closeouts because that's the way it works. And then sometimes the pressure leads to fouling, and it is really difficult to rebound in. And so, but we feel like the rewards of it have been good enough to overcome that. So I'm just going to kind of show you some live clips now, so you can kind of see it in live action here. So clip one, you'll see we got really good forward pressure and a good trap, and our weak side forward was right where she was supposed to be. So here comes the forward. She's in good position here. Good pressure. We have the trap, and our weak side forward gets right over there where she's supposed to be. We're able to get a steal. We've extended this offense. This is probably the best passing team we play every year at any level. Western does such a great job of passing the ball around. Right here, now that's our guard's fault. She should have been over there to trap that dribble penetration. Gave up a little bit better look than we would have liked. So you see here, we're in home base, or we're strong and weak. Now we're going back to home. Okay, we're right where we need to be. We're strong here. You see that backside guard got a little anxious, didn't force the ball back where it came. Again, our guards are late, but we have Hannah Dean step up with good pressure, force a tough shot, but our guards got a little antsy. They were trying to pick off a pass versus getting where they should have been. Right here, we've got some really good ball pressure. Okay, our guards are more in a two-guard front here. They're more in a two-guard. We're going to get back to home base here. Kind of didn't communicate that, but still keeping the pressure on. Again, right here, we'd want this forward to make her drive middle. Okay, we had pretty good pressure, but we had a bad closeout. We want that person to have to drive off the skip middle. Okay, another bad closeout by our forward, but again, good pressure, weak side forward, weak side block. She can see that pass coming in. Okay, bad pressure here by our forward. She's got to be taking away that baseline side. Our guards getting back to home base. Not bad. Now we're in two guard. Now we're back to home. You can see them sliding back into it. Okay, should have had a mind call, not good enough pressure. And then here our guards just didn't communicate. We should have trapped or swapped that. Again, gave up a pretty good look late in the shot clock. Okay, we're in two guard now. We're back to home. You see him get back into it pretty quick. Pretty good forward pressure. And we swap it here. We trap that dribble penetration and just cause a little indecisiveness. Here's a couple of clips of our short slides. Good pressure by our forward. We're back to home base. Really good pressure there. A good short slide there. Back to home. You see our center fire back. But again, we didn't force that ball where we should have, but Hannah Dean just gets a deflection and makes a big play for us. You're going to see another short slide here. Ball goes to the corner. Danny Wagner gets all the way over where she's supposed to be. Run that one back here, but this is a big no-no right here by our guard. This guard, 23, has got to get this cut off. She should be right in front of here. If she gets this cut off, this kid's in trouble, because you'll see number 4 come underneath the post right where she's supposed to be. We've got good ball pressure, but our guard didn't get the cutoff. Again, we're in a 2-guard front now. We're just kind of bluffing at these dribblers, not really trapping right now, just kind of bluffing at the dribble penetration and recovering, bluffing at them and recovering. We've got a little short slide. Everybody's moving. This was about the fourth time we played these guys this year, so we had to adjust a little bit. Good ball pressure there by our forward. We had a little short slide. Again, the guard didn't get the cutoff. And so then this sets us up for that high risk here. I can get this one back. Okay, you see we have good ball pressure, so we're in good shape here. We've got a good short slide. Our guard needed to get this cut off. She needed to keep it here, and then our guard didn't get to the strong spots, trap that dribble penetration, give up an easy shot. So that's the nuts and bolts of our zone. You know, I'm okay with giving out how we do it. Anybody can look it up and watch it and figure it out. It just takes some kids that are really committed to work hard, and you know, we've kind of found that with the teams that we've had here. We haven't been the most athletic. We're not always the tallest or the fastest, but we're going to outwork people, and we're going to work as hard as we can, and we're going to be physical, and we're going to make it hard for you on both ends. And so the kids have really bought into this zone, and I think we'll stick with it, and hopefully somebody picked up something along the way from it, and hope it works out for them.
Coach, thank you.
You're welcome.
You are you okay if people reach out to email, call, things like that, as far as if they reach you through the website?
Sure. I had my email up there, but I don't know I don't know where it went. So, yeah.
We'll send them to the Carroll Athletic page. They can find it.
They can find it. Yeah. They can email me, text me, call me, whatever. It's not like it's my zone. It's not like I developed it. We've just found that it's been good to us, and so, you know, we'll keep tweaking it to adjust to the great coaches in our league, and hopefully we can keep running it.
Well, thank you for tonight, and thank you for getting Phil in to join us this evening as well. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Coach Sayers, ladies and gentlemen, of Carroll College, as we continue here this evening. Thanks for joining us as we are raising money for Findlay. Again, here tonight, the 4th annual Hoops for a Cause. Our coaches clinic here tonight, Findlay Grace Foster, the young 5-year-old lady that we are raising funds for. You can go to the GoFundMe. You can send the address as well. I have peppered those with you. If you want to go into the chat bubble, you can see that there. You can go to the GoFundMe through the chat bubble, or I'll go ahead and share it for you one more time here real quickly. If you want to see the funds for Findlay, if you'd like to send a check or something along those lines, everything will help. You know, that's kind of the key here. And then the GoFundMe address, just search for Findlay Grace Foster as well if you want to do it at a later time. And we truly thank everybody, you know, not only joining us tonight, but also last night as well. And we still have some great ones ahead. As next up is here in the Mining City, one of the ladies that's probably gets sick of me as much as my wife does. I pester Coach Sandin like no one's business, and she puts up with me all the time. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You know, it's interesting when I'm listening to Coach Sayers talk about the idea that they want to out hustle people and they're always going to go 100 miles an hour, and it's awful reminiscent of Montana Tech basketball. Your ladies play so hard; they get after it up and down the floor. They never leave anything out, and that certainly comes from you at the top of the pile.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What you know, the other one I want to say is going back to year one of this Hoops for a Cause. You certainly, with it being in Butte, was a big part, but I don't think it mattered if it was, you know, if we were in Billings or even farther east. If Chris would have, Coach Mowat would have called and said, hey, we're going to do something good for our Frontier Conference family. Somebody needs our help. You know, you were one of the first to respond, and I would think you would have been no matter where we were, even if we weren't in Butte.
Absolutely. I think community service is so important to keep small communities, our small communities in Montana thriving. We do a ton of community service each year with our players, and for us to be able to come together as the Frontier Conference with, you know, the men's and women's basketball teams and be able to give back to the great state that really supports us, I think is a huge thing. So I'm really appreciative of all the coaches that have spoke and have gone to the clinics in different places and has made need this, and all the people who are joining us for this coaches clinic, as well as all the campers that have come to our camp, and people that have donated to such a great cause. But I think it's just such a great thing that we're doing through the Frontier Conference for our great state that we live in.
Well, Coach, you're 6 years. You have 5 All-Americans to this point, some of my absolute favorites. And with that, I will turn it over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Standen with Montana Tech.
Thanks, Paul. I love coaches clinics. I think it's a great time to get new drills, new ideas, quick hitters. I think you grow as a coach and as a person from learning from others. So I've really enjoyed this clinic. We use football players as our scout team, and I wish they would have just been on watching Coach Sayers' 1-1-3 zone, because I sometimes would like them to execute it against us a little bit better. But, I appreciate all the coaches that have been on here tonight. I'm going to talk about practice drills. Practice prep is extremely important. We watch game film, opponents' film, practice film to decide what we need to work on each day in practice. So our practices are about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. I never say we go over 2 hours. My players disagree highly with that. But so we start off practice with about 20 minutes of fundamental drills. So the first drill we usually do is a warm-up drill. It's usually full court. We want to incorporate passing, ball handling, finishing. The one thing that we always make sure that it incorporates is communication. Communication and talking is so important. And, if everybody's talking and communicating and we have energy in our first drill of practice, that kind of sets the tone for the rest of practice. So we want to have a drill that we start off with where everybody's talking and communicating. We're getting up and down the court and getting the bodies warmed up. Our second drill is always, always, always a box out drill. There is nothing more frustrating as a coach and as a player out on the court when you play your tail off on defense and have a great defensive possession, and then we give up an offensive rebound. Rebounding is extremely important to me, so we always do it as the second drill of the day. The third drill is a shooting drill. When you kind of look at practice, you don't get a ton of shots up, so we try to incorporate shooting drills throughout practice. It can be an individual shooting drill, a partner shooting drill, a team shooting drill, but we always try to get some shots up there. And then our fourth drill is a transition drill, whether it's 3-on-2, 2-on-1. Transition build-up is one of my favorite drills. My players don't like it as much. It's pretty grueling. We can go 1-on-1, offense to defense, but it's drills that we can work on, scoring with numbers, defending when we're short a player, but it really in passing and decision-making, we do a lot of decision-making drills, and that usually comes in on the fourth drill of the day. So that usually takes us about 20 minutes to start practice. And then we usually break up posts and guards and do skill development. And this usually goes 10 to 20 minutes. We do individual skill development and small group skill development. So sometimes later in the year when we need to work more on scout and stuff, this time will decrease to like 5 minutes. But I really feel working on skills. And in this time we work, our posts are working on posting up, we're working on running the floor, we're working on footwork stuff, the guards do ball handling stuff, but I feel working on our skills and getting better as a player is extremely important. And then the rest of practice is for offense and defensive breakdowns. We play a lot of 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4. We'll play 5-on-5, half court, full court. We'll work on scouts is how we kind of finish practice. The last couple of years, we get out and we play a fast tempo. So we like to do a breakdown drill, whether it's 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and then we'll go right into full court 5-on-5. Then we'll go back and we'll break something down, and then we go back to 5-on-5. So we get a lot of our conditioning just comes right through playing, and we keep practice pretty up tempo, just like how we play. And then we always do another shooting drill later on in practice. I feel it's important to get some shots up when your legs are tired. So we kind of do some fourth quarter shooting towards the end of practice as well. We make practice as competitive as we can. Each drill has a winner. Or if we're doing something as a team, it's a team shooting drill. We have a goal that we're trying to beat, whether it's for time, whether it's for 10 in a row, whatever it is, we make it competitive. So when we have, our two teams, our white jerseys and our black jerseys playing, we score every drill. It doesn't have to always be points scored. We'll do defensive stops. We'll do old boards if we're working on something in defense and we want to get deflections, whoever had the most deflections, we'll change it up on how we're keeping score. And then the team that wins always has to verify their win. And to verify, I just pick a random player from the winning team and they have to step up and hit a free throw. If they make the free throw, they verified the win and they don't have to do the consequence. If they don't make the free throw, then they have to do the consequence just like the losing team. It's a great way to add pressure on, you're shooting a free throw under pressure, your team just won, you really don't want to have to run, so you got to knock down that free throw. And we change up our consequences each day. So one day we might do a down back in 10 seconds. And then we do that. That's the consequence for the rest of the day. If you don't win a drill, that's what you're doing. And then the next day, it might be 10 squat jumps. And we do that for the rest of the day. So we're always kind of changing it up so you never know what we're going to do. So in order for us to plan practice, we have a ton of drills. My assistant and I always sit down, usually in August. We've kind of got a head start because of COVID. And we are always looking for new drills, whether it's on Twitter, at coaches clinics. And we just have a big binder that has all of these. And, they're marked, whether they're box out drills or they're decision-making drills. And then when we're planning practice and we're like, well, we're not doing a very good job boxing out the weak side, we go to our box out drills and boom, there's one there that we can use and we throw it into practice. So we make sure that we have, a ton of drills and we want new drills and we want things to keep, you have players for 4 years, you want to change it up so it keeps them on edge and that they're always learning and getting better as players. The other thing I forgot to mention when we always have a winner. For our individual shooting drills, we have a winner board in our locker room. So we'll do a shooting drill. If you score the most points, it's your picture, the name of the drill, and your score. And that stays up on the board until somebody else beats you. So it kind of gets competitive in the locker room. And we have a ton of shooting drills that we do that are really good and they work on different things. So it's kind of fun to have that winner board in. So I'm going to show you some of the drills we do. I probably could talk for an hour and a half on different drills, but my assistant and I kind of sat down and we picked out some of our favorites, some of the ones that we use a lot. So I'm going to show you some of the drills. My players filmed this, and as I was watching it and getting it ready, we are definitely not in mid-season form. So there's going to be some missed layups, some turnovers, but I think it will be good for you to see kind of how the drills work. So we'll go ahead here. The first drill we're going to do is Michigan.
Michigan starts with 3 lines on the baseline. The person in the middle is going to pass up. Here they pass to the left. Then we're going to hit a right-handed layup. So it's a pass, pass back. The same person's going to shoot both layups. So we're going to pass to the left. Here's up to a right-hand layup. The person in the middle to start the drill, after they make the pass up for the layup, they're going to touch the baseline. The person that got the first pass is going to snap down the rebound. The person that shot the layups getting out, run the floor hard because they're going to shoot both layups at each end. This is a great drill to start practice. Works on finishing, passing, running the floor, communicating. Just gets the players really focused on the little things and ready to go for practice. We do it with many different goals in mind. We'll say you got to make 10 in a row on the right, 10 in a row on the left. We'll set a time that they have to do it in. So if they go down and they miss their first layup, the first group of 3, then they're off. The next group's on, and again, it resets. We'll do it where they can't take a dribble. We want everything to be perfect, no travel. So you're really working on getting out, run the floor, working on passing. You know, if they don't snap down the rebound, they don't talk, they'll have to, you know, start over. So it's a great drill to just get them mentally ready to go. And, you know, simple drill, but just incorporates a lot of fundamentals. So you can see here, it's just a pass back, and then up court it, and then end with a finish. Pure pressure layup starts with 2 lines underneath each basket. You need 2 passers with coaches, managers. They're going to grab the ball out of the net. They pass to the coach. They get out. They call for it. We're going full speed layup. 4 to 6 balls is all you need. We do it 2 minutes. We try to make 70 made layups in 2 minutes. So you really got to get out. It's full speed layup. So you're working on finishing at game speed. We'll count, you know, each made is worth 1, but we'll also take away points. Every time you miss a layup, that's -1. If you don't call for the ball, that's -1. You don't snap down the rebound. When you get it out of the net to pass to the coach, that can be -1. There's other things you can do as you add in. Here, we'll make a move at the 10-foot volleyball line into a jump shot instead of doing layups. Obviously, if you do it for 2 minutes, you got to kind of cut down the time, but incorporate ball handling into it. It's another great way to start practice where there's a goal. They got to get out. They got to run. I mean, you can't jog to get 70 mades in 2 minutes, so you really got to push themselves, but a great drill to get warmed up and ready to go for practice. Numbered rebound starts with 3 out on the perimeter on offense and 3 defenders in the key. The offense is going to pass, cut. You can work on your offense. They can on ball, but they're, you know, catch, ready to shoot. So they're going to play. And then when the shot's taken, they crash the old boards. The 3 defenders in the key, they have a number. The one closest to the free throw line is number 1. Then it goes number 2, and the bottom one here is number 3. So offense is going to pass the ball around. Coach will yell a number. When the number is yelled, whoever has the ball on offense is going to shoot it. Whatever number is called, they're going to go find the shooter. They box out the shooter, then everybody else has to go find a body and box out. So you have to really communicate. It simulates kind of a zone box out. So here we're going to pass and cut. Okay, when the number is called, whoever number is called, they're going to be the one boxing out the shooter. We'll do this 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. They got to get a hit and go get the rebound. One-on-one box out starts with 2 lines on the wings and then 1 player underneath the basket. The player underneath the basket is going to pass out, and that player that gets the ball is going to shoot. The player underneath the basket who just passed has to go to the other side and box out. So this drill is kind of simulating that you're in that hoop position. The shot's taken, you got to go find your player and box out. In that hoop position, a lot of times players are just going to turn and look, and then somebody's crashing the old boards and you give up a rebound on that weak side. So you got to make sure that you're getting a hit. This drill is continuous. Again, you have to get a rebound to get out. If you don't get the rebound, then you have to stay in. You get the pass out, you go box out on that opposite side, you get the rebound, we pass it out. Again, you're boxing out that hoop position. It's a really competitive drill. You're crashing the boards hard. You want to get the rebound. It might be a long rebound. You got to hustle it down. We always say hit, find, get. So you're going to hit your player, not extend your arm, get them stopped. Then you're going to find the ball, and then you're going to go get it. If you don't get the rebound, then you got to stay in. Two-on-two pit rebound starts with 2 lines at the elbow. There's 2 on offense and 2 on defense. In this drill, the defense has to get 3 rebounds in a row to get out of the pit. If offense gets an O board, then the defense stays in until they can get 3 in a row. So it's very competitive, it's mentally challenging, but you gotta hit, find, get a box out, go out and grab that rebound. We try to get through it quick so we get lots of reps going. So as soon as they outlet it, coach is shooting it and the next people are coming in, but it's a great rebounding drill. Energy closeout starts with 3 lines on the baseline, and we go by colors. So we go, so our white jerseys are on offense and our black jerseys are on defense. This drill starts with 3. Here we see black jerseys out on offense. The ball's going to get swung along the baseline. Then the white's going to close out. We break down, we get our hands up, and then it's live 3-on-3. So when we first pass it out and it gets swung around the top, our defense is looking to jump to the gap. If we're 2 passes away, we're getting to hoop, and then we're making sure we're working on our closeouts. So are we closing out on a shooter? Are we closing out on a driver? But we're getting our hands up, and then it's live, and we're playing. We usually go 5 minutes and we keep score. So we have a winning team and a losing team, but really breaks down. So we were working on our closeouts, working on our defensive fundamentals where we're jumping to the gap, getting our hands up on the closeouts, and then making sure we're in hoop. You can work on hoop sync. So it's just kind of a great drill to really focus on defensive fundamentals. And then offense is just playing 3-on-3 and spreading the court. .55 drill is an individual shooting drill. It's a full court drill. You need 2 balls, 3 people. 1 person is going to shoot the entire time, and they have to make 11. So they're going to run down, we're going to rhythm up, shoot, and then they're off to the other end. Again, they have to make 11, and this is for time. So if you can make shots quick, your time is going to be much less. We use this drill a lot in the preseason just to work on our conditioning. Steph Curry shooting, there are 5 spots: baseline, wing, top, wing, baseline. You have to make 2 in a row from each of those spots inside the arc. So you're going to start on the baseline, then you move to the wing, the top, until you make it to the opposite baseline. Once you do that, then you're going to move to the top and you're going to shoot 3s from the top of the key. This drill goes for 2 minutes. The only shots that you can count toward your score are the 3s from the top of the key. So you have to complete making 2 in a row from each spot, and then the time that you have left is what you get to shoot, 3s, and that's what you count towards your score. Once you do that, it's 2 minutes, then you switch partners and your partner goes. So it takes 4 minutes, which is, you get a lot of shots up in 4 minutes. So it's a great drill. It's mentally challenging because you have to make 2 in a row. So you're kind of working on consistency. And then when you get to the top, you're trying to make as many 3s as you can from the top. Money ball is a partner shooting drill. Each partner gets 4 shots. The first shot is a 3, and that's worth 3 points. That's the money ball. The second shot is a middle game going to your right, worth 1 point. The third shot is a 3. That's also worth 1 point. And the fourth shot is a middle game going to the left. And then we switch partners and the next partner goes. And again, it's 3 points for the first 3, then the next 3 shots are all worth 1 point. It's the first team to score 25 points wins. Doubles is a partner shooting drill. You have to shoot, get your own rebound. As a team, you have to make 2 in a row inside the arc. Each are worth 1 point each to move out to the 3-point line. Once you get out to the 3-point line, you stay out there. Each shot you make there is worth 2 points, and you're able to stay out there as long as you don't miss 2 shots in a row. If you miss 2 shots in a row, then you have to move back inside the arc and make 2 shots in a row to get back out to the 3-point line. We do this for 2 minutes. The partners with the highest score win. So they just missed. Here we miss again, so now they're back inside the arc. There's 1 make, that counts as 1 point. We miss, you have to make 2 in a row to get back out to the 3-point line. Hit, it's another point. Hit, now they're back out to the 3-point line, and those are worth 2 points each. Partners shooting with an O board. One partner is going to shoot the ball, the other one's going to run in and crash the O board. They can finish it. If the ball doesn't hit the ground, they can put it for a putback. Then they pass it out. Then they're going to get the pass back for a 3-point shot. The other person crashes the O boards. They're trying to get it before it bounces. Threes are worth 3 points. If you finish the O board, whether it's a make or a miss, that's worth 1 point. We'll go for a set amount of points, usually about 25. So shoot, the opposite person crashes the O boards, and then we try to finish it. .180 shooting is a team shooting drill. There's 3 lines, 3 balls. You shoot, get your own rebound, pass it to the next person in line. You're going to make 20 shots as a team, and then you're going to rotate counterclockwise, make another 20 shots as a team, rotate counterclockwise, make another 20 shots counterclockwise. So that's a total of 60 shots, and the first spots are really close where they're warming up their shots. We make 180 shots in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So the key is when you're in close to make sure that you make those shots as quick as you can. Then you move out to 12 to 15 feet where they're at now, and you shoot. You make 20, then you rotate a spot, make 20, rotate a spot, make 20, and then you finish out at the 3-point line. Again, you have those 3 spots. You got to make 20 shots as a team in there, so it's a total of 60. So it's a total of 180 makes in 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Here in this drill, they made 5 or so shots from each spot, and then they rotated, so it's not the full 7 minutes and 30 seconds, but you can kind of see how the drill works. So they'll make 20, rotate, and you do that 3 times, and then you move back to the next spot, which is a little bit deeper, and then here they're going to end with 3s now. One-on-one offense to defense starts with 1 player on offense, 1 player on defense. The rest of the team is at half court on both sides. So you're going to come down on offense. You're looking to score. Once you're on offense, then you got to transition back on defense. Here, so you get the rebound. Now the outlet comes from the lines at half court. Finish. Now if you were on offense, you go back on defense. One of the rules that you got to make sure is that the offense that's getting the outlet gets it on the same side of half court as the rebound. Otherwise they'll throw some long passes and you don't get as much out of the drill as if you make sure, like right here, she loops and now she has to work on, she takes a middle game shot or work on getting to the rim. It's great to work on your transition defense because you just score. Now you got to sprint back, work on one-on-one skills. It's a great conditioning drill. We do a lot where we just go for 5 minutes and you just count how many points you score, and at the end, we have somebody that has the most points and they win. Two-on-two offense to defense is similar to the one-on-one offense to defense. So it starts off 2-on-2. The rest of the team are in lines at half court. If you're on offense, you transition back onto defense. So we're going here. You can see it's 2-on-2. Whoever gets the rebound makes the outlet and they stay on offense to the other end. So again, if you're on offense, then you transition back and you're going to be the ones playing defense. If you get the rebound, you're the one that's going to outlet it at half court, and then you're going down on offense again. Again, it's a great transition D drill. We'll do it where, we'll score a certain number of points. We'll go for times. We'll have teams where we're on one side or the other, so we can keep track of points. Three on three, call a name, starts with 3 players on the free throw line extended and 3 players on the baseline. The person on the baseline that's going to be on offense that has a ball calls one of the 3 names that are at the free throw line extended. If your name's called, you got to touch the baseline and then sprint down. So we're working on scoring with numbers, decision making, limiting turnovers. So you can see here, White's going to be on defense. The person in the middle with the ball calls a name. That person has to touch the baseline. And now we're trying to score in transition. And then once, scores or the rebound, then we're coming back. And again, we're playing 3 on 3 here. There's variations where, you can do 4 on 4, you can do 5 on 5, you can call 2 names. So you can work on actually transition offense, transition defense. Early in the year, we'll let any player play that middle spot. As we get, deeper in the season, that's usually our point guard that's going to play that. A lot of times, I'll call the names instead of having the player, so I can make sure that we're getting the spots open that we need to practice on in transition defense.
I hope you got a few new drills tonight that you can use in practice. If you have any questions with any of the drills I showed tonight, please reach out to me. Here's my contact information, or you can just go to golddiggers.com, and that will have my email and phone number on there. If you have a certain thing that you want to work on with your team and you're looking for different drills, also reach out to me. Like I said, my assistant, Jenna Bolstead, and I love finding new things. We're always sending, we'll see something on Twitter and we'll send it to the other one, and then we'll write it down when we get into the office. So we have a lot of drills. So if there's something you would like, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you. I need to thank Coach Moat for keeping this alive. I know we've had lots of talks due to COVID this year of what we were going to do, so I'm glad that we were able to do Hoops for a Cause this year. When he had first called me and we were talking, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And he's like, I don't want to, be the monitor on it. And I was like, Paul Panisco is really good at that. And so, Paul, I want to thank you for helping us out.
So you threw me under the bus.
Yes. And then, of course, Jenna is really good technologically. And, Coach Moat was like, I don't know how to use Zoom very well. And I was like, oh, well, Jenna does. So appreciate all Jenna's done running the behind the scenes for this virtual clinic. She is really good. And for all the help that she gave me on my presentation. So I want to thank her for that. And just, she does so much for our program, and I'm really lucky to have her. So I'd like to thank her for that. But thanks for joining us for Hoops for a Cause. And I hope we all have seasons, and I wish everybody the best of luck.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time and love chatting with you as always.
Thanks.
Coach Carly Sannon from Montana Tech. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one left. We have found our way to the end of the trail here as we are doing our Hoops for a Cause, the 4th annual Hoops for a Cause. Again, remember, year 1 was here in Buttes as Alex Thatcher. We were raising money for the Alex Thatcher Memorial Scholarship in 2017. In 2018, we were at the University of Providence for Buckle Up Blue for Lauren Goldhahn. Last year, we were raising money for Jack Roscoe, who was paralyzed in a snowboarding accident, and that was at Carroll College. And this year, again, we are raising money for Finley as Finley Grace Foster. We have had the GoFundMe up. We've given you the address. We'll give it to you again here as the night goes. But our cleanup batter here, ladies and gentlemen, is Coach Drykosen. Coach, 321 wins at Rocky Mountain College, 17 All-Americans. Obviously, the 2009 NAIA champion and the 2009 Coach of the Year at the NAIA level. Coach, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on, and just thankful for you and all you've done. You've done a great job with this. You're a great MC.
Well, I appreciate it. I've been lucky enough to be around this conference. This is going to date myself. I was doing games before you were the head coach at Rocky, and that's saying something.
Yeah, that is.
But what's when Moe calls and says, "Hey, we're putting this thing together," what's the first thing you think of, and why is this special for you, Coach?
Well, I mean, Chris has done a fabulous job with this, and I think anytime as a coach you can give back. I mean, that's really what we do. We're here to help others, and anytime we can give back is a great thing. And for us as the coaches, outside of Chris and the other people that have really helped put this on, it's a small sacrifice for us to get a chance to get out here and talk about our program and share. But to get a chance to help for this cause for Findlay, and I've known Pat for a long time, and then Katie there. It's a great cause. I'm just very thankful that we can be a small part of, hopefully raising some good funds. It looks like we're well on our way to that, and we know that money's not everything in this situation, but it never hurts, that's for sure. But just really think of her a lot, and Paul, since we're talking right here, I mean, one of the things I want to do is just make sure that people are praying for Findlay too. It's really important to me. I mean, I know we can give financial gifts and we can talk about it and we can share her story, but I'd really like to see people praying for her. I know I'm first and foremost on that list, and I'll be praying for her and the family, and hopefully others can do that too.
Coach, thank you very much. Thanks for your time tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Dracosan from the Battling Bears of Rocky Mountain College.
Okay. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Jenna, can they hear me?
You're good, Coach.
All right, I'm good. Yeah, that's pretty good for me. Now, I don't have an assistant in here tonight, helping me with everything like some of these other guys. I don't have Hemmelberg in here helping me and all that kind of stuff. So I'm good, though, and I just appreciate the time to be here, and looking forward to sharing some. But definitely want to thank Chris Mowat and all he's done to make this possible. Definitely, it's an amazing event, and I've enjoyed listening to all the coaches. Had an opportunity to listen to everybody last night and tonight, and got some great stuff. And we do have the greatest conference in the country, and some of the greatest people. And Montana is still the greatest place. So it's exciting just to be a small part of Hoops for a Cause. And as I said, for Findlay and for her family, and a chance to give back. I'm just honored to be a small part. But thanks, Chris, for doing this. Thanks, Jenna. Jenna, I know you helped me a lot too, not only with this stuff, but with Highline hoop camps and stuff. So thanks a lot for all you've done in here. And then thanks again to Paul for putting up the time. So we'll just get right into things here and get going. I'm going to talk about our motion offense, basically a continuous ball screening offense that we run. It comes from the Gonzaga stuff, the Butler stuff, wherever you want to call it. But as any offense, you kind of start to put your own twists on it. But that's basically where we started it with. And I guess the first thing I want to do is just talk for a few minutes about our philosophy here at Rocky, which obviously I think is an important part about why we run this motion offense. But first of all, we just really believe in leadership. And there's a saying that goes around that Craig Rochelle from Life Church and that runs a leadership summit always talks about. I don't know if any of you have ever went to the Leadership Summit, attended it, or watched it online live. It's a great event. It's like a hybrid coaches clinic for leaders, and I would definitely suggest listening, checking in to that. But he always says that when a leader gets better, everyone gets better. And I think tonight, last night, we're all getting better. So that's really important in our program. And part of leadership, I think, is disappointing people at a rate they can stand. Paul, you were trying to date everything and say that you were there before I was coaching here, but you must be doing a great job then, because leaders, they do have to find ways to get along with people too. And that doesn't always mean being a yes man or a no man, just means, kind of understanding the heartbeat and everything of everything. And especially when you become a head coach, I think that's really, really important as you lead the entire group. And then we really work on our philosophy on building ownership. It's really not my team, it's our team. I've got great assistant coaches. I've been very fortunate to have great ones all the years. Right now I have Sean McEwen, who's done an exceptional job for me. And you have to build ownership through, allowing them to do things, and then also, delegating things to them and trusting in them. And I had Tony Trudnowski this last year. Now he took the head job at Laurel. He'll do a great job. And now we got James Bullock back to help us too, who has been with us for about 6 years before that and played for me. So building ownership within the program, obviously not just coach to coach, but also with the players. But I think the players aren't going to be committed to you if you don't have deep ownership as a head coach. And I'm a real relational guy that way. My ownership comes through relationships, I firmly believe, in building strong trust and bonds. That's really how I operate. But I really like, Sean had bought me the book, Extreme Ownership, and I really like that book. It talks in there about extreme ownerships, not just for those things which you are responsible, but for everything that impacts the mission. And I think it's so hard when we're coaching young kids, high school kids, college kids, men, women, but to really get them to think outside of themselves. I know the guy who spoke earlier tonight was talking about instant gratification and stuff of that nature. But I think it's tough for us. I always tell the kids in my coaching class that one of the first things that a baby says outside of mom or dad is mine. And there is no parent that teaches a kid the word mine. We're just born that way. We're born with a little bit of a selfish ego, or we wouldn't survive. But, we need to live outside of ourselves, and we need to understand how we can impact for the entire mission, for the betterment and the good of everybody else. And in our program, I really like to talk about how we do anything is how we do everything. And if I can do a good job of that and think about that myself, because I know whenever I am doing something, whether it's sweeping the floor, and I've done a lot of that, whatever it may be, there's no job too small for a small college coach. And whenever I'm doing that, I think when I get done, I look at it and I think, was that good enough? Would I be proud of that if one of my players did that kind of a job, or one of my own kids, or something of that nature? But building ownership is big in our philosophy, and that's going to tie into our motion offense. And then obviously you got to keep balance. For me, it's really important to start spiritually, start with the Lord, go to the Lord the first thing in the morning, and then give to the Lord. And then obviously my family is vital to me. My wife is the number one assistant coach of all times, Callie, and I just can't thank her enough. And then of course I have my kids. I got three little kids that now are getting into high school and junior high and middle school. So that part's fun, but I got to remember to keep balance with that. And of course you have your friendships, and in the athletics world, we are fortunate to have friendships, from a lifetime, whether you've been on teams, whether you've coached teams, all that kind of stuff. But, and then, coaching. So I really look at coaching as a calling, not as a job. Coaching is what you do to make a difference, not who you are. And I think anytime we start thinking it's who we are, it's how many games we've won, it's how many All-Americans we've had, when's our next job? I want to move up to this level or that level. I heard Steve Keller say that, high school coaches are some of the greatest coaches. It definitely doesn't matter what level you coach at. It's what you're doing to make a difference. And hopefully it's all of our calling to do that. It's not a job. It's something we enjoy doing, and it's a great way to give back. So, but if you can keep a great balance with all that, it's really important to keep your priorities straight, and kind of that's the order I like to do it: God, family, and then, and friends, and then your calling. So anyway, that's just a little bit about our philosophy, and now we'll kick into the offensive stuff. Why do you run motion offense? I mean, I think we've heard the term motion forever. When I was in high school, I know it was the Bobby Knight motion. I know our coach went to the Bobby Knight clinics. I was fortunate to have a great high school coach in Brad Henderson, and a lot of those things carry on. But I know Bobby taught a lot of motion stuff, and it's just great to see the different motion offenses evolve as you go along. Steve talked about the dribble drive. I know Coach Mowat runs some 4 out, 1 in. A lot of people have ran 4 out, 1 in. There's different offenses, whether it be the Chin stuff, the Princeton stuff, the old flex stuff. So there's lots of different things, in a motion offense. But, we choose to run motion to empower our players to make decisions. That's really what I like about it. I always played off of instinct. I thought I played best that way. And I want to allow my players that also, to play within the system, to have a framework, and to be able to utilize their skills within it. We believe it's better for players to learn how to play and use their instincts rather than just learning plays. If you're always just learning plays, I think they can become robots out there. Well, any offense, whether it's a set, whether it's a continuity, whatever, it always, I think, boils down to 3 things. And as I've listened to the coaches speak in the last couple of nights, I think they would agree with this. It comes down to spacing, it comes down to ball movement, and it comes down to angles. And, I'm sure there's other things you can throw in there, maybe different order if you like it, but we like to think of it as spacing leads to ball movement, which leads to getting us great angles to take advantage of the defense. The on-ball motions, in our opinion, with our program, is basically a hybrid, is what we like to look at it as, of the dribble drive and the 4 out, 1 in. I think as we watch some film, you'll see some of the things when they get into it that do come about from those 2 things. These kids these days, they play a lot more than they practice, and so they're dribbling the ball. You high school coaches are teaching them to dribble and penetrate and do different things. So I think to keep up with the game, in the college level, you got to feed off of that. You can't try to stay with past things that maybe they don't do as well. I don't think they pass the ball quite as well at times, but they really dribble it well. They penetrate it hard. They're athletic. They're strong. They're quick. They're fast. And I think this motion offense, the on-ball motion, it's continuous. You can really empower them and help them make great decisions. Back on here to the emphasis and some of the principles that we try to teach in any offense that we run, but our basic principles, we want to push the ball in transition and attack early. I mean, anytime, I always ask my guys, what's the advantage? 3-on-3 offense, 4-on-4 offense, or 5-on-5. And it's pretty obvious that the advantage would be 3-on-3, less defenders to cover the whole court. It's easier to score 3-on-3 than it is 5-on-5, just less defensive players in the half court. And as you push in transition, maybe you can have less defenders down there. You can have advantages, numbers advantages. That's going to be important too. And I think you can get good looks or great looks before the defense gets set. You know, a lot of times if we can get good looks early and great looks late, or great looks early and good looks late, either one. But the first thing we want to do when we push in transition is get our big sprinting the floor. There's going to be some big, you know, not two guys can get the rebound. Somebody's going to be there, and he's got to run hard and get his head up and find the ball and run to the tip of rim. I mean, obviously looking for those easy baskets and then flow from there. You might not have a post up. You might have different things. You might be able to flow out to the short corner, different things that way. Guards, you need to sprint, run wide up the sidelines. You know, you got to keep them wide. They want to squeeze in. You got to get them out, and you got to get them to run to the corners. You know, the bigs got to run 94 feet, but the guards only want to run about 60 if they're lucky. You know, they want to get about across half court and then tell me, give me the ball, give me the ball. So we work hard to get them to run wide and run deep. Point guards, of course, got to get that ball across half court. Several ways you can do that. If you got a quick point guard, he can push off the dribble. You can look to pass ahead. You know, they always say the pass is quicker than the dribble, which a lot of times it is, but it depends on who you're passing it to, I feel like. So we want the ball up the court in 3 seconds or less, and so we can see what kind of advantage we can get. The last big can either be a ball reversal guy or set a drag screen. I know Steve talked about that. You know, there's just so many ball screens. Hard to defend a ball screen in transition because there's not a lot of help side. There's not a lot of gap defense. They're just trying to get back and you know, slow down the ball. So that can be good things. As we're attacking in transition, we want to attack on the inside out, get into the paint. And that could mean off penetration. That can mean on post feeds, you know, whatever. But get into the paint. Paint touches put pressure on the defense. We look at the inside touches like the running game, I guess, in football. You know, when I watch football, I never got a chance to play it, but I like watching football. And, you know, you kind of say, man, why did they run it again? They didn't get anything. They just lost 2 yards. Oh, they only gained 1 yard. But the great football teams always have a good running game. And, you know, you run enough play actions and enough things, pretty soon it's going to open up. And, boy, when it opens up, when you get those linemen to open up for the running game, it's all over with for the other team. You can control the clock and all kinds of things. So we look at inside touches kind of like the running game. You got to have it, but you got to stay after it every time. I just remember in like about 2008, I think at the conference tournament in Butte at the Maroon Center, we were playing Westminster, who had one of the best teams in the country. And, you know, obviously you in the Frontier play several times throughout the year. And we had a great post player, an All-American post player. And, you know, they were doing a lot of what Adam had talked about earlier yesterday, monstering and keeping the ball out of his hands, keeping so much pressure on him. And it was tough getting him the ball and getting him in much rhythm scoring for him. And we went in at halftime, and my staff and I, you know, talked about it. And, you know, I just know there was a lot wanting to say we got to move and we got to get it out of there. We got to get some things going from guards' perspective. But I really held strong in saying, hey, we need to get it inside. We need to get it inside. We need to keep going at them. And they're going to get in foul trouble, and our big guy is going to start scoring. And by the end of the game, that's what had happened. And, you know, our kids pulled out a victory. But you just got to stay with it with the inside attack. Playing off your posts is big. Post feeds are big. You got to make the defense adjust from there. I know Wes talked about that C, and that's something we've always used too. And we think you get some similar looks out of our motion at times. And so depending on where the ball's entered from and where everybody's at. But, you know, when we do enter it into the post, first thing you need, again, is that spacing. You got to stay on your guys about spacing. And then the next things we talk about when you get it to the post is great relocations. They got to be on time, on target, got to be shot ready. You can look the Laker cut, depending on your personnel or what you're trying to get. But, we just think the first thing you got to do is get it inside. And then the last thing is, as we're pushing in transition, trying to attack inside, you got to have a great flow. I like offense to flow right to our motion. I don't want to take time to set things up. I want to just flow right into it. And in this offense, you're just kind of right there. If your trailing post is up top, he can set a ball screen up top to get it started. He can go to the wing. The low post can come out and set a ball screen, and everybody else can just adjust. That gets you into some good ball movement and on into the good pace. So just a little bit there. We're going to show you some film too. I know this is a lot of talking, just a lot of information. It's kind of hard to visualize, but I'll get you some film and you can see it on there. Once we're in a half court, we got to have great spacing. That's what we just talked about, spacing. So once we get out of transition, we get into half court, we get that spacing to stretch the D, and we stay after them in that. And then after the spacing, we emphasize ball movement. No ball stoppers allowed. Just can't have those ball stoppers that sit there and massage the ball and sit, no hot sauce. We need something to get done. Our spacing allows us to move the ball quickly and get that ball movement we need, but we need the players to, we give them empowerment to do this. Now they got to go out there and make the right decisions to get it moved. It's a key in this offense. If you don't have great ball movement, you can sit there and watch your film after the game and just say, well, most of the time, if we didn't have great ball movement, then we, didn't get a chance to break the defense down, and then we probably had a poor offensive night. And then, of course, after the great spacing and the ball movement with the pace, then we can focus on the angles, getting great driving angles, getting downhill. I heard Coach Keller talk about that. Angles for feeding the post. Wes talked about that. Screening angles are going to be vital. If you're going to run an on-ball screening offense, you got to have great screening angles. And then I think one thing that a lot of people don't think about, I heard Carly talking about, rebounding and how important it was. But, those offensive rebounds are really important. We feel like this offense gets you some really great angles to get those, rebounds from different areas. And I think nowadays it's such a guards game anymore. Even we talk about getting the ball inside, a lot of long rebounds if people are shooting long shots. And so guards can be great rebounders. Long shot is like a loose ball, and it can be a long rebound. So, working to get those second shots and move forward from there. So our real teaching emphasis, remember, is to empower them and then allow them to make decisions. The ball handler, the guy with the ball, needs to understand not to make predetermined decisions. That's a huge emphasis in this offense. You can't go into the ball screen already determining what you're going to do. You see that with kids. They're already going to spin dribble. They're going to juke and jive and do all this stuff, but we drill that stuff daily. And there's a lot of things that people talk about. They talk about sunsets are different. That's what a ball screen's like, a sunset. But a lot of people know I like to fish, as you can see on the screen. That's my kids fishing this summer. And, I think ball screens are more like fishing trips. You never know what's going to happen until you get out on the water. If you don't get out on the water and you don't get in the game, you're not going to find out what's happening. But like in Montana, the weather's, you wait 5 minutes and the weather changes. So don't decide ahead of time. When you go fishing, you don't want to decide ahead of time. I mean, you got to fish to the weather. And the same way with ball screens, you got to play to what the defense is doing and then you play off of that, and you make them pay for what they're doing. So I kind of like ball screens as part of fishing trips. And then you can see in the top photo there, my 3 kids, that's Zoe on the right, then Peyton holding the fish, and then Jordan on the left. It's got blue sky. I mean, that's the weather that day. Then you're down here with Jordan with the double-digit walleye on Fort Peck, and you see the clouds. And then you got Peyton with the big walleye and different weather. So, you just got to not make your decisions too early. But our big objective, back to the stuff here now, is excellent timing on our ball screens. Excellent timing. Well, what does that mean? Well, there's a lot that goes into that. We have to do a good job of teaching timing. So how do we do that? Rep it. The biggest thing that ball handlers do is they normally come off too quick. So you have to teach them to wait, teach them to set up their man. The ball handler and screener need to be in sync. And they both need to know what to expect on this ball screen that's coming as far as from the defense. You can do that in your scouting and so on. After they set up the ball, after the setup, when the ball handler gets him set up, he's got to come off the ball screen thinking to score. I heard attack. Same method or same idea here. Come off looking to score. Then you go through your reads. Here's some of the concepts. I'll try to cruise through these. I know anybody who knows me, there's three main things that you know about me. I talk long, I talk loud, and I talk continuously. So, we might not get back to Paul until somewhere around 10 or 11, but anyway, we'll get back to you, Paul. I promise. But I'll get through this stuff here fairly quickly. Here's just some concepts and fundamentals that you need to teach the bigs. Sprint to your ball screens. DHO just means dribble handoffs. We use those. You got to change your pace. You got to get there. I've had great post players that didn't get there very fast, and I wish they would have gotten there faster. But that pace is really important. Come off tight, shoulder to shoulder, get wide on your screens. And a lot of things you got to look at too is stop if that ball handler is coming too quick. You can't just run up there to get the screen. You may have to wait. After the screen, you got to teach your bigs to rim run, get off your screen quickly. Obviously, they can front cut or actually roll. We'll show some of that stuff. But you got to get to the basket, play and burst. And then when they get down there, duck in, seal up, whatever you want to call it. Our bigs are asked to reverse it. So a guard comes off, hits the other big. Look down there for your buddy. See if he's open. Down there. And then we'll show you the lift position. They got to lift up and out to be in good ball reversal positioning. And that's kind of what we call the pro spot area. It's just a term that we use for spacing. And the guards, obviously no space on screens. You know probably more about the guards. Everybody does. Shoulder to hip. Wait for your ball screen, like we said. Set your man up and come off looking to score. As you come off and you're looking to score, depending on how the big's playing you, engage the big. You can draw fouls. You can get your big open. You can create mismatches. When you're getting the ball, guards got to do a great job fighting for catches, getting it where you want it. We like free throw line extended. Don't let the defense determine where you're getting it. And we're a big permanent pivot foot team. If we're right-handed, we're left foot pivot foot. And I guess the last thing with those guards is they got to know when to be a ball handler and when to be a ball mover. Ball handlers are different than ball movers. I had a great kid from Big Fork, Isaac Martell, just a self-made player, and his senior year got to play a good amount for us, and he was really good at being a ball mover. Just move it. You can already see nothing's open, and it's amazing what one guy like out there with the offense can do to help you. When you make the ball move, the defense has to move. And nothing better than making the defense make decisions and make reads. Now, I'm not going to go through all these because I'm going to do them on the film, but just so you see them, you know, there's different types, whatever the people you're going to play against, or whatever they're doing, versus switches, traps, hard hedges. You heard Carol talking when Rachel was talking about we trap the on-ball stuff, or not the on-ball, the penetration, but same way on on-balls. There's different things that they're going to do. There's shacks or plugs, and there's ices. I'm going to show you some film now. I know we don't have a lot of time here, but I know this is probably some of the most important stuff, but you'll be able to see this. We share it with you and so on. So you get a chance, you can look at it on your own there. But let me get this started here. Give me just a second as we talk about our motion and show you some of the clips that we have. Got to get these advertisements off of here, and then we can go. Okay, this is an open side middle drive. We don't care about driving middle or driving baseline. This is an open side, swinging the ball. We're coming middle. Clay does a really good job, you know, getting all the way down. Open side, refusing the ball screen. So Isaac, this is the kid I was talking about. As you look, as I pause it, watch the setup here. The setup, and then he got the defense going that way, and then you're driving hard baseline. As you can see, our big is lifting over there, and now it's all cleared out, and you're looking at some similar stuff to like Steve Keller was talking about as far as dribble drive principles. There's nobody else down there. There's no help. Short rolls. Just simply meaning don't roll all the way to the rim depending on how the defense is playing you. Little mix up there. Never mind. We still got it. And our point guard, Clay Ladine last year. This was 2 years ago, but he's just a phenomenal passer. I think he averaged 7 assists a game. Look where he gets it to the big. That's a perfect shot for this guy. Short roll, short corner. That's too easy. A refusal again. Look at our spacing here. See how it is. See what it looks like. Looks pretty decent. We get Craig going baseline, real athletic player, but he just kind of like, oh, got the guy standing and drive again. Nobody down in there. Spacing was real good. You can get the ISOs, switches, mismatches out of it. Here we are moving it. There's our first screen on first side, we call it. Okay, we think we've got a good matchup inside here for Lucas Vining. Now, he's actually kind of outside, but we have all kinds of room for him because we got shooters on the perimeter, and he's able to just get it all the way to the rim. Okay, again, this is a baseline drive, and then watch our post guy. This is what we call a tee up. I heard that talked to about by one of the other coaches too. Any drive baseline, we want to have corner fill and tee up. Our point guard's late getting to the corner fill, but luckily our big is right where he needs to be. Clay finds him at the right time, and once again, easy bucket. Here's second side, what we would call an open two. Getting the catch a little wide on the catch. Good looking screen, nice and wide. Good spacing on that far side. You can see our opposite post is in. That's what we call the pro spot out there. Very good spacing. Nothing there. Maybe a little over dribbled. Move it. Let's get back out of there. Let's get our spacing again, and then we're going to get a middle drive. Filled two. So a fill just simply means we're filling out of the corner. Filled side means your corner's filled. Open means your corner's not filled. So a filled on second side here, they're kind of icing us right here. So we just swing the ball and get it across. Okay. Now we're getting a little chip down there. And then we're going to get a throwback here on the filled side and post up Jared Samuelson here in the post. And then like we talked about earlier, get the ball inside, and then you got lots of options. I wished our point guard over here, number 20, would have been, getting to the open area, drifting, and getting where he could be seen a little bit better. But as you can see here, too many guys are going to go to Jared, double team, whatever, triple team it looks like. He finds the open man. We get a layup. This is what we talk about engaging the big. And I know I'm just about on time here, but I'm going to try to get through a few more clips real quickly here. Engage the big. Watch Satchel here. Engage. He kind of hesitated and then engage the big. That's definitely what you want your guards doing. Get downhill, get into that help defender, and they did a good job of covering the roller, but then it was our guard against their post, and I like that matchup. Here's another filled 2. I'll just kind of let this roll here. A slip a little bit by Danny. Swing. Now we're getting a fill. Not even good screens per se. Not great spacing. Now on this one, we were able to get it to Jared, but Danny could have came over there to ball side a little bit more, and you can get a high-low look there or a skip corner if that's not there. But once you get it in there, it's pretty much all over with. Here's at the national tournament against the the champions that end up beating Carroll, Georgetown, and they're very athletic, as we all know in our league, but you still can just break them down. Just take your time. It's not pretty right off the bat, but pretty soon, okay, you get a fill and you get an easy look. I'm going to move past that. That's another fill on second side. Gotten a pull-up jumper. Here's a duck in. What we talked about. On ball. Jared ducks in. Now, I think for a guy his size, he could not get pushed out to the elbow. That's not really where I wanted him to catch it, but once you got him the ball, he's pretty tough to stop. He got down where he wanted to go. And one thing too with the posts, in the lift position, here's Danny Betcher. Look, he's getting a closeout. We all talk about getting long closeouts. Okay, they held too much off the ball screen. 2 guys went with 1. Like Steve said, you get 2 guys guarding 1. Now we kick it back in the lift, and look what we get. We get a little shot fake, and we're right in the middle of the paint. You can mix things up. Okay, we had 2 ball screeners. Now we got 1. Different entries, different things that way. And we're going to have one ball screener out here now. Now it looks like a 5 out, 1 ball screener. We get them trailing us. Brandon does a nice job, gets the pickup here, got covered. Now Jared's got a mismatch in there. We swing back and quickly get it inside. I got a lot more clips on there. I don't want to hold everybody up because I know, everybody can go. That's, I think, why Moat put me here. First of all, I think he put me here because we were last in the league, so I go last. I get that. That was last year, of course, and so I get that. But also he knows if I need to go over, I will and I can. There's just lots of things you can do out of it. I think you can see here, Gins in the national tournament, just moving the ball, move up. Here's a little give and go, layup. You can just empower your players to do a lot of different things. Here's one thing too. We'll chip down. I heard the Carroll coach Rachel saying, "Hey, you play everybody so many times." Heard Lindsay say that. We're playing each other for the 4th time or whatever. So here we go on a chip down with our point guard. Here's the chip by number 2. And we just see, they wanted to switch, but we just slipped and we end up getting a layup out of it. So you just got to mix those things in and see everything that the offense can give you. Let me just finish up here so I don't run over too much. I know people are ready to get going. Let's see here. Okay. Why do we like it? I think I've already went through it. Empowerment, spacing, ball movement angles, variety of opportunities to penetrate. If you get the defense going, you get it reversed a couple times, you can get about anything you want. And then you can run a lot of different quick hitters out of it. In closing here, just leadership is important to me. And every leader is a reader. Every reader is not necessarily a leader. I don't read enough, but here's some of my favorite books. Obviously the Bible, Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, Extreme Ownership by Jocko, Good to Great by Jim Collins. He's also got Built to Last, Mentor Leader by Tony Dungy. I teach that in my coaching class. I actually use a football book to teach basketball coaching just because mentor leadership is so important. And then Leading for God's Sake by Gonger. And then obviously I think we all probably know about the Toughness book, but those are just a few of my good ones that I like. If I can do anything for you, let me know. That's what we're here for, is to give back. When it's your calling, like I said, it's just great to give back. So sorry for going over a little bit, but that's what you get when you put me in last place. So back to you, Paul, there. Thanks to everybody, Paul, Mowat, Jenna, and everybody who put it together and everybody who presented. And Finley strong, man, and we got you in our prayers, and God's got you in his hands. We know that. So I'm thankful to know that. But Pat and Katie, just keep your head up, keep taking it one day at a time, and lean into the Lord. We just love you guys.
Coach Drykosen, thank you. Good to see you, sir.
You too.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this, if you can believe it, as we have been doing this the last 2 days, raising money for Finley Grace Foster. We had a chance to talk to Finley, when we got this started with Dad Pat and Mom Katie as we got underway. Head coach Chris Mowat from MSU Northern back at me once again. Let's get you unmuted there, Coach. Brother, great job.
Great job to you. Great job to the coaches. This is amazing. I was just checking out the GoFundMe. We're well over the 4,000 we were looking for, but in the funds for Finley, I know we got a lot more money coming in. So we've done something special tonight. And I talked to Pat just before I got on with you guys and just kind of told him where we were at and what we were looking at. And I said, is there anything you want me to throw in there at the end here? And he says, I don't have the words. And it was very sincere and heartfelt. And, we've just done a good thing here. And I think everybody, that's participated, hopefully they feel like they got something out of it. But for the coaches, my peers, I can't thank them enough just for taking the time. It's tough to extend yourself and do something like this. And it's a risk, and risks are always a little bit tough. But I think everybody was willing to take a risk to try something different in the times we're in. That's what we had to do. And so I think we've come out big time successful. And so, I'm like Pat, I really don't have the right words either. I mean, these people are my friends, and when we play, we want to beat them very badly. They want to beat us very badly. And,
yes.
Rochelle talked about it with Hattie Thatcher. Those are real rivalries, and they don't go away. But I think when you're either in a gym like we have been for 3 years or doing this tonight, so much of that goes out the window. And I think it has to for the right reasons. And Finley tonight, last night, that was the right reason. And, everybody just had such good things to say, good things to share. I stole a few things, and I'm going to go back and watch the video when it's over, and I'm sure I'll pick up a lot more. So hopefully the people who are on enjoyed it. But what you've done, and Jenna, I got to say, is the MVP. She calmed my nerves. She's made this thing go and was volunteering to do that, and as did you. We just really appreciate both of you guys more than you know.
Well, and the other one we need to remind people is we've had a lot of people asking if this will be available at a later date. We will be able to get the video up. All of the transcripts from all the coaches, the things they presented, will be available as well. And when all of that has a place to live, we will make sure to get that link out to everybody that was involved and make sure to kind of share that knowledge for everybody that wants a piece of it.
Yeah, and by we mean Jenna.
I'm not going to lie. That's exactly who we mean. Nice job.
Yeah, my assistant will be hopefully in on that a little bit too. But we/Jenna. Thank you.
Well, she's not swearing at me on the phone yet, so I assume it's going to happen soon. But Chris, I remember I was in Helena. My wife and I were driving in Helena the first year you called, and you're like, "Hey, I've got an idea." And to think that where that started, and you're like, all right, let's see if we can put something together for, the Alex Thatcher Scholarship. And from that point to here, and the entire buy-in from everybody in the conference says an awful lot about you, says an incredible amount about our conference, and just nice job, man. This is stuff that leaves a lasting mark beyond wins and losses and everything else.
Yeah, and Rochelle talked about having a platform, and we do. I'd love nothing more than to be in a gym full of kids today with all of our coaches hanging out. And, that's a pretty cool opportunity. Everybody gets about 15, 20 minutes just to do their best stuff, and kids scream and laugh and have a good time. And we send them out the door. That's always a great day, but I think something like this is a great day too. And we did use our platform to the best we could to raise some money. And I think just looking at it, I think over the 4 years now we're $34,000. And I saw what the cornhole tournament did in Butte. I'm like, I don't know how to do something like that in one day. That's amazing what those guys did. But
incredible.
For the Shrine Game, that was incredible. But on our level, we're really happy, really proud, and just thankful right now. I wish I had the perfect words, but thank you will never do it.
Well, I guess for me, I just want to say thanks to you. Thanks to all of our Frontier Conference coaches. Thanks to Jenna Bolstad. And I'll let you wrap it up, my friend.
Well, just know that those ways to donate are still out there. I guess that's the biggest thing. There's still opportunities to do that. And I'll visit with Pat and Katie sometime next week, and we'll really kind of see truly where we're at. Right now, I have a good idea, but we'll wait till next week to see what else comes in and things like that, because I have a feeling they're going to be pretty surprised at what else is out there coming in. So, we'll take what we have right now and be very thankful and just move forward. But man, again, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And the coaches that were on, hopefully they got something out of it. But I know that everybody that did this stretched themselves out and took a risk to be out here and spent the time presenting, getting it ready. It's just been really, really cool. So thank you.
Hoops for a Cause, year 4. Have a great night.
Thanks, man.